Chapter 41. However, isn't the man in a suit and gold-rimmed glasses Lu Zheng standing behind Baojia? Mr. and Mrs. Lin have met Baojia before. They know that Baojia is nice to Lin Luoran and they like her very much. However, they are a little nervous when they see Lu Zheng, who is obviously not in the same class as them. Fortunately, Fatty Chui is busy today, or else the gold necklace on his neck will be too dazzling. Although Wang Miao Yi is rich, she looks tanned and strong. Mrs. Lin thinks that she is from the same country as Wang Miao Yi. Lu Zheng carries 2 big bags of gifts and calls them uncle and auntie in a gentle way. Auntie Li sighs to Mrs. Lin behind Lu Zheng's back. Luoran is so rich now. She makes friends with people of high status. Putting herself in Auntie Li's shoes, no matter how good their relationship is, Mrs. Lin will also feel a little uncomfortable when she sees that Auntie Li's family suddenly becomes rich. Mrs. Lin pats Auntie Li's shoulder and says, "What are you talking about? No matter how rich she is, she still has to call you Auntie." Auntie Li starts to pick vegetables with peace of mind. Lu Zheng is not a talkative person. Seeing such a delicate house, he can't help but smile while drinking tea in the living room. Living in a house worth 20 million yuan and receiving a salary of several thousand yuan from Treasure House, it will be good publicity for us. Rich Sister Lin, do you want to think about it? If you cooperate with us, we can also get some publicity. Seeing that Lin Luoran blushes, Baojia punches Lu Zheng. "Master Lu, you have a lot of luxurious houses. I've never embarrassed you like this." Lu Zheng stops talking about this and starts to talk about business with Wang Miao Yi. Fortune House used to be the biggest business in the province. Since the Lus moved in, Fortune House has gradually formed an alliance with retail investors like Wang Miao Yi and Fatty Chui. Therefore, they have a lot of business dealings and can talk about business together. Seeing that they are talking about business, Baojia drags Lin Luoran to help in the kitchen. As for Mr. Lin, he is dull and afraid that he will say something wrong to embarrass his daughter, so he takes Luodong to the backyard to fish. Needless to say, the vegetables are all from Lin Luoran's space. They are freshly picked and cooked. The beef and pork ribs are bought by Baojia, and Sister Wang comes with a box of wine, which is in line with her style. Baojia is not a delicate young lady who doesn't do housework. She knows how to wash rice, pick vegetables, and even some simple dishes. When Lin and Luoran arrive, Mrs. Lin is collecting the sauce for the braised pork. The lean meat is soft and the fat is oily but not greasy. This is Mrs. Lin's specialty. When Lin was a child, her family was poor, so she could only eat this bowl of braised pork on festivals. Lu Zheng, Baojia, and Sister Wang all grew up eating fine dishes in the city. Lin Luoran is afraid that they are not used to Mrs. Lin's greasy dishes. She asks Mrs. Lin to take a rest and prepares to cook 2 more dishes. Baojia doesn't hesitate and steals a piece of braised pork. She screams when she is scalded and gives a thumbs up to Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin, who was a little disappointed when Baojia took away her right to cook, laughs out loud. Lin Luoran takes 2 cabbages produced in her space. She only chooses the tender part in the middle and cuts it into thin strips. She steams it and pours some sour sauce on it. She makes a delicious cabbage dish. The topaz texture of the cabbage is decorated with 2 pieces of coriander leaves, which is pleasing to the eye. As for the unused leaves, Baojia volunteers to chop them up with a knife and feed them to the koi. The koi are lazy when they are feeding the koi because the food is too fat. However, when they smell the cabbages in the space, they crazily fight for them. Baojia's shout attracts Auntie Li to go out to watch. Only Lin and Mrs. Lin are left in the kitchen. Mrs. Lin looks at the living room and asks Lin Luoran about the relationship between Lu Zheng and her. Lin Luoran's forehead is covered with cold sweat. She explains that they are just ordinary friends, but Mrs. Lin doesn't believe her. She lowers her head and keeps chopping the pork ribs. Lin Luoran feels helpless. She has to tell Mrs. Lin that Lu Zheng is Baojia's fiancé to make Mrs. Lin believe that they have nothing to do with each other. However, Lin Luoran has good hearing. She hears Mrs. Lin murmurs, "What a pity. God knows what she is talking about." After Baojia and Auntie Li feed the fish, Luodong runs back to the kitchen with a big silver carp in his arms. The boy is so excited that his face turns red. He looks at Lin Luoran expectantly. Mr. Lin is fishing in the back garden. Lin Luoran asks gently, "Did you catch it?" The boy nods, "Mr. Lin." It is not easy for him to talk to people. Lin Luoran doesn't want to force him as long as he can understand. It seems that Mr. Lin caught the fish. The water in the pond is clear. Lin Luoran doesn't know that there is such a big silver carp in it. Seeing that Luodong is struggling to catch the slippery fish, Lin Luoran takes a basin and says to Mrs. Lin, "It seems that there are a lot of fish in the pond. Let's drain the water and catch them slowly." Baojia nods, "Don't forget to ask me to catch the fish." Haha. Lin Luoran spits on her, "You are a lady. You are more excited than anyone else." Queen Baojia pretends to tickle her, which makes Mrs. Lin and Auntie Li laugh. Even Luodong is smiling. Looking at the big silver carp, Mrs. Lin is in a dilemma. It's a pity that it smells too fishy. Otherwise, we can steam it. Lin Luoran presses her mother's shoulder, "Go have a rest. I'm going to make a silver carp hot pot. I promise there will be no fishy smell." Hearing that, Auntie Li quickly kills the fish and cuts it into thick slices. She puts the slices in a water made of white wine, salt, pepper, balsamic vinegar, ginger and onions to get rid of the fishy smell. Lin Luoran also puts 2 spoonfuls of beer in it. Baojia is amazed. She stretches her neck and is ready to learn a special dish. Even Luodong is staring at her without blinking. Lin Luoran wonders if Luodong is a boy who likes cooking. Seeing that Baojia wants to learn, Lin Luoran takes out the fish which has been soaked for 2 minutes and asks her to cut the flavor. Auntie Li laughs, "How can she?" She cracks an egg, puts the egg white on the fish and adds seasoning. Baojia finally gets the job of stirring. She is enjoying stirring the fish with a pair of long chopsticks. Seeing that Luodong is interested, Baojia hands the chopsticks to him. Both of them are in high spirits. Lin Luoran cuts a large plate of pickled ginger, pickled peppers and pickled cabbage. She stir-fries them with lard and vegetable oil. Then she adds pickled cabbage and other ingredients. She adds millet and chili rings and finally, she adds the soup. When the soup boils, the silver carp can be cooked for 3 minutes. She sprinkles some coriander and chopped green onions on it. The aroma is appetizing. At the dining table. Seeing that all the dishes are on the table, Wang Miao Yi points at a plate of tomato salad. "Is this the same as the one you brought to my house?" Lin Luoran nods and Wang Miao Yi focuses on the plate of tomato salad. Baojia is biting cabbage and staring at the silver carp hot pot. Auntie Li sees that everyone is eating the ingredients. She thinks while eating the braised pork, city people are weird. They only eat vegetables but not meat. Wait, why are Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran also vegetarian? Auntie Li tries to pick up a piece of stir-fried spinach. The crisp and sweet taste of the spinach makes Auntie Li give up her braised pork immediately. She keeps eating. The vegetables of Lin Luoran are so delicious. This is the only thought in Auntie Li's mind. After dinner, Auntie Li has to go back tomorrow. Lin Luoran goes to see Lu Zheng and the others off. Wang Miao Yi is a woman of action. After eating and drinking, she steps on the gas and disappears with a pile of vegetables in her arms. Though winter in our city is not as cold as the north, the wind is chilly at night. Lu Zheng opens the car door. He seems to remember something. He holds the door and asks, "Mrs. Cui told me that you are also going?" Lin Luoran is at a loss for a moment. After a few seconds, she realizes that Lu Zheng is talking about the trip to the border between China and Burma. She feels a little embarrassed. Lin Luoran is paid by Mrs. Lu, but she always asks for leave to deal with personal affairs. She doesn't know how to explain it to Lu Zheng. Lu Zheng seems to see through her embarrassment. He says with a smile, I see that you are very interested in stone gambling. Mrs. Cui also said that you are talented. How about changing from a teller to a consultant? Your salary will be the basic salary plus commission. What do you think? In fact, Wang Miao's original words are that Lin Luoran is the god of fortune who can give out US dollars. She is so lucky that it will be a pity if she doesn't make the best use of her talent. Lin Luoran has long felt that the job of selling jewelry and jade is not suitable for her as she gets busier and busier. However, she doesn't want to give up the Reiki of Treasure House, which is free for her. Lu Zheng's suggestion makes everyone happy. Lin Luoran only needs to pick some raw stones every time. The stones won't be too outstanding and the Lus won't lose money. Then she will have an excuse to absorb Reiki everywhere, which is perfect for her. How can Lin Luoran refuse Lu Zheng's suggestion? She nods and agrees with Lu Zheng. Is Baojia going? Baojia is wearing thick cotton clothes. She is still freezing and her teeth are chattering, no. I will go to the capital with my grandpa in a few days. I don't know when I will come back. The queen sniffs inelegantly and laughs, you have to keep an eye on Lu Zheng for me in case he falls in love with a girl from Yunnan. It's best for him to be a close guard. Lu Zheng pushes his glasses and Lin Luoran looks up at the sky. Lin Luoran glares at him and goes back. Let's not talk about how Lin Luoran will explain to her parents how she can afford such a big house. On the way, Lu Zheng and Baojia are on their way. Baojia notices the smile on Lu Zheng's face. She pouts and says, you should have told me earlier if you like me. Reserved people won't get anything from me. Lu Zheng is so shocked that he stops abruptly and almost hits the guardrail on the side of the road. Baojia doesn't expect that her casual words are so powerful. She shrinks her neck and stops talking. Chapter 42. Lin Luoran is in no mood to talk to them. After treating Lu Mei and manager Zhou to dinner, she officially starts her new job. The job of purchasing is very flexible. When it's busy, Lin Luoran has to go on business trips. However, when it's normal, she has nothing to do. Lin Luoran stays at home to accompany Luodong. She also goes shopping with her parents so that they can get familiar with their new living environment. According to Luodong's age, he should be in elementary school. However, his autism hasn't improved yet. Lin Luoran's family is worried about him going to school alone. Mr. and Mrs. Lin stay with Luodong for the time being. They are afraid that Luodong will lag behind his peers, so they have to teach him at home. Mr. Lin and Mrs. Lin both graduated from junior high school. In order to teach Luodong, they have nothing to do in the farm. They pick up books and study by themselves before teaching Luodong. Lin Luoran could hire a tutor for Luodong, but she doesn't since her parents are so busy. Lin Luoran has told her parents that she is cultivating. As for the space, they don't need to think about it. Of course, they want to be with their daughter. However, without Master Jia's explanation, the simple breathing method is very difficult to understand. Not to mention Mr. and Mrs. Lin, even Lin Luoran has little knowledge on cultivation. Therefore, Mr. and Mrs. Lin read books when they have nothing to do. They don't want to be a burden to their daughter one day. Lin Luoran looks at her parents who are trying hard to learn the incantation and meditate. Lin Luoran finds a few cheap jade stones and forces the bead to spit out some Reiki that human body can absorb. Lin Luoran gives the spirit stones to her parents and then gets on the plane to Tingchong. Speaking of jade, people will think of Myanmar. Speaking of stone gambling, Tingchong is indispensable. Compared with the semi-public auction in Myanmar, stone gambling in Tingchong is obviously wilder. 2 days before Fatty Chui and his companion set off, Lu Zheng and Lin Luoran fall behind because of some personal affairs. An old master from Lu's family goes with them. He seems to be Lu Zheng's uncle. The three of them go straight to Tingchong. They don't even have time to wash up when they get off the plane. They change cars and start their journey again. It turns out that their destination is not Tingchong, but Ruili, Yunnan province, which is closer to the border of Myanmar. Compared with Tingchong, Ruili is a bit low-key. Ruili is located in the westernmost part of Yunnan, bordering Myanmar on the northwest, southwest, and southeast. Two towns in Myanmar, Sister Mu and Nankan, are adjacent to the villages in Ruili. In Ruili, it is not only 2 countries in one city and 2 countries in one village, but also 2 countries in one yard, 2 countries in one field, 2 countries in one house, and 2 countries in one well. The border line is delineated on the map. When it comes to the land, he finds that the border line passes through his yard, his well, and the village where his brothers live together. So the elder brother lived in Myanmar, and the younger brother lived in China. After sunbathing in the yard in Myanmar, they went to the living room in China for lunch. A chicken left its nest in China in the morning and laid an egg in Myanmar in the afternoon. Ruili is to in with to world. With Lin. In China, Lu to in. And to li to Lin, Lin to with to do with to Lin. Luoran Lin. Luo is Ludo to with, Lin to Lu Chi with her. To with to. Although Ruili is far away from the mainland, it is close to Myanmar, so Lu's family has an office here. However, the office is not as good as our city. Hearing that Lin Luoran is coming in person, manager Lu drives an old Mercedes-Benz to pick them up. Lin Luoran's bead can block the fog, but it can't block the dust. Like Lu Zheng and his companions, manager Lu feels travel-worn. In the evening, manager Lu offers to take the 3 of them to the night market in Ruili. Lu Zheng politely refuses and explains to Lin Luoran, "We've been here many times. We have to get up early tomorrow and wait for you. Why don't we go there on our way back?" There is no reason for manager Lu to ask others to accommodate her, so Lin Luoran agrees. In fact, Lu Zheng's uncle has a lot of opinions about Lin Luoran, a beautiful girl, as a buyer. In his opinion, people can only touch the surface of raw jade gemstones in their whole life, let alone Lin Luoran, who is such a timid girl. Lu Zheng's uncle has been wondering whether Lin Luoran is Lu Zheng's girlfriend, but he uses her as a buyer to blame Lu Zheng for not distinguishing between public and private affairs. Lin Luoran has never figured out why the old man keeps looking at her in a strange way. She has to go back to her room to wash up and get ready for the next day. The next day, Lu Zheng knocks on the door when it is just dawn. Seeing that Lin Luoran is already dressed and waiting for departure, Lu Zheng's uncle feels much better. He feels that Lin Luoran is sensible and doesn't drag them down when it comes to important things. The 3 of them have a simple breakfast with local characteristics. Lu Zheng drives them to the destination without taking manager Lu. Lin Luoran has been to Zishuangbana in Yunnan before. It was a beautiful memory and it can't be more memorable now. The Dai people believe in Hinayana Buddhism. Like Zishuangbana, there are many pagodas and temples in Ruili. Along the road, there are many fields planted with watermelon seedlings, subtropical dense jungles, and Dai women riding bicycles are all unique scenery in Ruili. Did you sleep well last night? Looking at Lin Luoran's quiet and beautiful side face, Lu Zheng asks for no reason. His uncle sitting in the back seat murmurs in his mind again. Lin Luoran stops looking around and notices the light blue color under Lu Zheng's eyes. She asks curiously, "Didn't you sleep well last night?" She has to call Lu Zheng manager in front of outsiders. Lu Zheng pushes up his glasses and says lightly, "I'm a bit picky about my bed." Then they stop talking. The atmosphere in the car is so quiet that it is weird. Looking at Lin Luoran's refreshed look, Lu Zheng feels a little bit angry. He doesn't know if manager Lu did it on purpose or not, but he gets his room next to Lin Luoran's. Thinking that Lin Luoran is sleeping next to his room, manager Lu, who has always been steady, feels insomnia for no reason. He tossed and turned on the bed like a pancake the whole night. This was something that Lu Zheng had never experienced in his 30 years of life. This abnormality made him a little panicky. Baojia said he likes her before they came here. The her is right beside him. Is this the feeling of love? Lin Luoran also feels that Lu Zheng is weird today. She can't tell what is wrong, but she can't help observing him. In her uncle's eyes, the two of them are flirting. With 3 people in the car with 3 different thoughts, the old Benz finally arrives at the destination. Chapter 43. Along the way, every house they passed by had a clean and spacious yard, a large backyard full of bananas, pomelos, and bamboos. There were traditional bamboo houses, as well as new 2-story houses made of bricks and wood. In any case, every house was tall, tidy, and bright. Many of them were still pasted with the traditional red door symbols in the Dai language. The fence around the garden is full of all kinds of flowers and plants. The bucket that was suspended high in the air was facing the well made of stone. It represented that this wealthy village still liked to water the fields and work according to their original way. Lin Luoran likes this environment very much and she is quite interested in it along the way. Noticing that the Dai people are looking at them, Lin Luoran returns a kind smile. She always gets the same kindness back. Lin Luoran's uncle thinks that he is not used to trading raw stones in such an above-board place. He frowns and says, "Why did the Burmese people choose such a place this time? Nowadays, the insiders are acting more and more like outsiders." Lu Zheng is non-committal. The more dangerous the place is, the safer it will be. Who would have thought that we would meet here? A Dai man who is looking around comes up with a smile and says, "Friends from afar, are you here for a trip?" He touches his nose 3 times with his right hand. "All right, we are introduced by Mr. Zhang. Our surname is Lu. Stop testing us." As expected, the Dai man smiles more sincerely and makes a gesture of invitation. Lin Luoran laughs inside. He is so cautious as if he is meeting up with an underground gang. The Dai man leads Lin Luoran and the other 2 into a farmyard. Under the green leaves of the banana tree, there is a group of noisy people. At a glance, Boss Zhang, Sister Wang, and even the guy from Guangzhou from last time were all acquaintances. Including those he didn't know, there were a total of 20 to 30 people. They were all squeezed into this small farmyard, which was not too big. Of course, it gave off a noisy feeling. After greeting Sister Wang and chatting with Mr. Zhang, Lu Zheng introduces Lin Luoran to others as the new raw stone buyer of Lu's company. Some old people here have seen Lin Luoran cutting stones at Mr. Zhang's place last time. Hearing Lu Zheng's introduction, they all congratulate Lu's company for finding a goddess of luck. Of course, these are just superficial compliments. Lin Luoran doesn't know or care about what others think in their mind. Strange, where is Fatty Chui? While Lu Zheng and the host are chatting, Lin Luoran secretly looks around. Fatty Chui's figure is so obvious that he is not here. As expected, he saw Ali and Li Anping under a grapefruit tree. Miss Ai is rich and has brought a few attendants with her. However, they are no match for the little bugs in Rueli. Red spots appear on her wrist and she is losing her temper. Li Anping sees Lin Luoran as soon as she comes in. The average temperature in Rueli is 21 degrees all year round. Lin's physique is much better than before. Even though the temperature difference between day and night is huge, she only wears a thin camel windbreaker and wears her hair in a ponytail. She looks simple but beautiful. In fact, Li Anping wasn't the only one who was peeking at her. Those wealthy jade merchants were also peeking at her. There weren't many women who played stone gambling, let alone such a beautiful woman. Feeling Li Anping's resentful and hot eyes, Lin Luoran almost vomited. She really wants to tell Mr. Li that his current girlfriend is right next to him. Why are you showing your love to her? Lu Zheng also sees Ellie and her entourage. He remembers the quarrel between Ellie and Li Anping in Mr. Zhang's stone-cutting workshop. He takes a few steps forward and happens to block Li Anping's way of making eyes at him. Ellie saw Li Anping's expression and a trace of ridicule flashed across her lips. A dark-skinned and thin Burmese man, who seems to be the leader of this time, asks in a foreign accent, "Is everyone here?" "Once everyone is here, we will begin." A third of Ali's face is covered by sunglasses. She says coldly, "You can't make us all wait for one person. Let's start." The Burmese man is not satisfied that someone takes away his right to speak. Seeing that it is a woman, he doesn't argue with her. Wait. Lin Luoran can tell that it is Fatty Chui who is panting in the yard. Fatty Chui came to Rueli a few days earlier than Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran doesn't know where he is. He didn't come with Sister Wang until now. Just when Lin Luoran is thinking about this, Fatty Chui rushes into the yard with sweat all over his face. Lin Luoran says with a smile, "Brother Chui, why are you so?" She stops when she sees the man following Fatty Chui. "Foppish Mu? What the hell? Why is he here?" Mu Tiannan also sees Lin Luoran. His expression is as strange as a chameleon. In the end, he snorts with the same attitude as the last time they met. Lin Luoran looks at Fatty Chui and then at Foppish Mu, whose face is as black as ink. Lin Luoran doesn't know what their relationship is. She just keeps silent and pretends not to see Mu Tiannan. God, meeting an old friend in a foreign place is really a test of one's endurance. Lin Luoran asks Wang Miao Yi in a low voice, "Who is this man?" However, Wang Miao Yi almost loses her temper. "Fatty Chui sold the spring color you brought to me a few days ago to Mu Tiannan. He knows that I like that piece of jade, but Fatty Chui rebelled for the first time. Mu Tiannan is forcing me to buy and sell it to him. Mu Tiannan is rich." Lin Luoran can tell from his arrogant attitude and his expensive sports car. That piece of spring color is good, but it is not the best jade in the world. Does he need to force me to buy it? Lin Luoran vaguely feels that something is wrong. She asks, maybe he is a good friend of Brother Chui, but Brother Chui bought it for him. "Sister Wang, don't be angry. We all know how Brother Chui treats you." Wang Miao Yi looks better and complains to Lin Luoran, "What friendship? He just bought a piece of jade and asked us to carve it into the 8 Immortals' birthday party. This man is so strange. He even wants the leftovers. Where can we find more?" Rich people are usually stingy, but it is not normal for a playboy like Wang Miao to be so stingy. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and lowers her voice, "But what's so special about that piece of jade that he is willing to pay for the leftovers?" Wang Miao Yi frowns and says after a while, "Only the water is better. Everything else is normal. I bought it from Mr. Zhang last time." "Oh, you were there that day. We just met." Lin Luoran becomes nervous when she hears that the raw stone was bought from Mr. Zhang. Then she hears that it was that day. God, could it be that it happened to be the primordial stone that he had probed with his spiritual energy? Is it the one that Brother Chui bought for 1.05 million yuan? Lin Luoran holds back her fear and pretends to remember it after a long time. "Sister, you have a good memory." "Yes, it is that one. I shouldn't have sold it to him. It's so troublesome." Wang Miao Yi sighs. Although she says so, she does business for money. She will sell it to him no matter what. Lin Luoran is a little confused. No one in the world knows better than her what is so special about that spirit stone. That day when she used Reiki to detect the raw stone, the bead absorbed the Reiki in the jade. It is the first time that Lin Luoran has done such a thing. She feels guilty. Luckily, the bead understands her and gives her some peaceful and pure Reiki. Therefore, Fatty Chui's raw stone should be the first time that Lin Luoran transforms jade. Hearing what Foppish Mu did, Lin Luoran feels guilty. Lin Luoran secretly looks over there. Fatty Chui is introducing Fopishmu to those jade dealers with a bitter face. Fopishmu seems to notice Lin Luoran's gaze and looks over. Lin Luoran shrinks her neck. She suspects that it is not a coincidence that Fopishmu asks her for the ginseng seeds. Does he really care about the ginseng seeds, or does he want to find her after she transforms jade? Chapter 44. Ellie grew up in a honey pot. She was sent abroad after graduating from high school. She was open-minded and could be regarded as half a banana. In S province, Fortune House was the biggest business. The old chairman doted on his granddaughter so much that he made her the administrative manager. Ellie looked down on her uncles in the same business. Ellie was a big family. She was used to being arrogant. There was nothing she couldn't take. She used to be like this when she bought raw stones. She knew that Li Anping had a girlfriend, but she still went to provoke her. In fact, everyone had been secretly gritting their teeth for a long time, but they didn't show it. If the Burmese host didn't know that Ellie's Fortune House is one of the most powerful buyers, he would have given her a hard time. However, she doesn't realize it. She doesn't know that people are waiting for the day when Fortune House can't survive in her hands. She only thinks that everyone is afraid of her. That's why she issued the ridiculous ban last time. Even Lin Luoran can't stand it anymore. She wonders what is in Ellie's mind. No matter how powerful one was in the mainland, this was the border, far away from the emperor. How could a person who could smuggle raw stones out and have connections to so many buyers be weak? Please follow me. The Burmese host holds back his anger and makes a gesture to everyone. It turns out that this is not the scene. The Burmese host walks in front and everyone follows him out of the back door of the yard. The back door of another yard is on the opposite side of the yard, which is convenient. Lin Luoran avoids Mu Tianan and follows Lu Zheng into the yard. She hears people gasping one after another. Lu Zheng's uncle has already rushed forward. It turns out that in the center of the yard, there is a huge raw stone which is 3 meters high and needs 2 people to encircle it. Seeing that a group of jade merchants and raw stone experts are surrounding the huge stone, Lin Luoran can't help but sigh that the Burmese host's psychological tactic is really good. This is a show of strength to let people know that he can get such a huge stone from the mine. It is also a psychological hint that his goods this time will not be too bad. Uncle Lu, how is it? Lu Zheng asked as he watched his uncle walk back reluctantly. I'm not sure. The python belt is fine. But it's rare to see such a big raw stone in recent years. It's strange that it appears here. I guess the Burmese host is going to sell it at a high price, which affects the gambling. These words make Lu Zheng ponder. Lin Luoran also stops looking down on ordinary people. Lu Zheng's uncle didn't have any superpower, but he had decades of experience, which might have been accumulated by failures. What he said was not accurate, but it was not far from the truth. Therefore, people are attracted by the huge stone in front of them. Lin Luoran doesn't have the capital to buy this stone, which is estimated to be expensive. Besides, it seems that her boss, Lu's, won't sell this stone. Lin Luoran naturally looks elsewhere. Those grayish stones of different sizes and shapes might all contain balls of greatly nourishing spiritual energy. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran makes up her mind that she will try her best to touch all the stones in the yard. As for stone gambling, Lin Luoran decides to observe that Fopishmu first. It won't be too late to make a move when there is no danger. Lin Luoran makes up her mind and starts to walk around the material yard. She looks like she is strolling around, but in fact, she is absorbing the reiki of some raw stones that contain jade. Seeing that Lin Luoran is acting like an amateur, Lu Zheng's uncle is dissatisfied with her acting as a buyer. However, he can't speak ill of the younger generation, so he can only keep it in his heart. Lu Zheng just smiles and tells Lin Luoran some common methods of selecting raw stones from time to time. Lin Luoran is relieved to see that Fopishmu seems to be following Fatty Chui closely. With her bead's sensitivity to Reiki, if Foppish Mu is also a cultivator, she can definitely sense the Reiki on him. Lin Luoran also notices that Foppish Mu is following Fatty Chui closely. Does he suspect Fatty Chui after he bought the jade from Fatty Chui? How about it? Do you like any stone? Lu Zheng asks curiously when he sees that Lin Luoran is touching here and there, but she doesn't touch a stone. Lin Luoran smiles. Do you really believe in the goddess of luck? I only got 2 pieces of jade by luck. Do you really trust me to choose stones? Lu Zheng is non-committal. Raw stones are full of unknown variability. No matter how good a raw stone looks, it may be a piece of shit. Since it is called stone gambling, the word gambling means that it is indeed related to luck. Lin Luoran covers her mouth and points at a raw stone that is half the height of a person. She is ready to test Lu Zheng. President Lu, what if I say I want to buy this one? The raw stone looks bad. It is almost impossible for other experts to find jade in it. However, Lin Luoran has just checked it with her Reiki and knows that there is a medium-sized jade in it. Judging from the rolling mist, Lin Luoran knows that she will only make a profit if she buys it. Lu Zheng laughs. How can he not know that Lin Luoran is testing him? Without saying a word, he takes out his checkbook and is ready to negotiate with the Burmese man. The Burmese man has just told them the rules. This is the sale of raw stones. Except for the 3-meter-high stone, which needs 2 people to carry each other, the other stones will be auctioned openly. The price will be written down on a piece of paper and the price will be announced at the end. The stone will belong to the one who offers the highest price. This kind of bidding without knowing the opponent's base price is really attractive. The Burmese man is so smart. Why is it 588,889? It is the first time for Lin Luoran to see this kind of secret bidding. She doesn't know why there is an extra 9 at the end. Lu Zheng doesn't laugh at Lin Luoran's lack of common sense. He explains patiently, there is no need to bid openly for secret bidding. The price must be capped. This is an unspoken rule to prevent others from taking the lead. This is the usual practice of Burmese public bidding. Many materials in the public bidding have been cut in half. It is easy to tell whether there is jade or not. At this time, people will bet on the color of the jade and whether the water will change. Everyone knows jade well, so it is inevitable that their prices will be similar. Capping the price is a way to figure out the opponent's mind. Lu Zheng goes to the Burmese man and hands in the piece of paper with the number and price of the raw stone. He comes back and says, Ms. Lin, do you believe my sincerity now? Lin Luoran blushes. Fortunately, she knows that there is jade in it. Otherwise, Lu Zheng's money will be wasted because of her narrow-mindedness. Chapter 45. Lu Zheng asks Baojia in detail and finds out that Lin Luoran used to be an ordinary citizen. The first time she got involved in stone gambling after breaking up with her ex-boyfriend was at Mr. Zhang's place. He remembers the day when she bought 4 raw stones for 2,000 yuan. 2 of the 3 stones were cut open on the spot and there was jade in them. In other people's eyes, it may be a coincidence, or maybe even Fatty Chui and the others don't know that the second stone was the only one that Lin Luoran took away from the scene and didn't cut open on the spot. If he didn't happen to go to the antique street to visit his friend, he wouldn't have seen Lin Luoran changing the watermelon stone and taking it to Fatty Chui's house. Lu Zheng looks at Lin Luoran, who is thinking seriously and suddenly feels that his original idea is a bit mean. Why did he change his mind? Is it because when she met her ex-boyfriend and Ellie in Fortune House for the first time, Lin Luoran's eyes trembled when she stood beside him and didn't turn around? Or is it because when he came out of Commander Chin's house that night, under the dim street light, he fell in love with her when the atmosphere was so harmonious that he couldn't be picky? What's more, when Mu Tiannan provoked him that night, it's between me and her, and it has nothing to do with outsiders. Lu Zheng hated the word outsiders. Does he feel like he likes her? Lin Luoran lowers her head and thinks. Her porcelain-like skin is exposed. From the side, she has a beautiful nose, thick eyelashes, and smooth cheeks. It is almost a perfect side face. Lin Luoran is thinking about the pros and cons, so she doesn't notice Lu Zheng's meaningful look. The warm sunshine of Ruili shines on them through the green banana leaves. Lin Luoran is elegant and Lin Luoran is beautiful. They are like a perfect couple. Li Anping is following Ellie. Seeing Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng standing side by side, he can't tell whether he is jealous or resentful. His eyes are like a poisonous snake spitting out its tongue in the dark. Wang Miao Yi walks over and laughs. Why are you hiding here? Why don't you go and see that huge stone? Many people want to buy it, but they can't afford the price. On the surface, he is smiling boldly, but when he comes closer, he lowers his voice with his back to them. Are you guys trying to buy the stone number 163? I heard Ali whispering to the people around her that it's marked at 590,000, and then I heard her mention your names. It doesn't feel right. Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng look at each other in surprise. What a coincidence. It just happened to be higher than Lu Zheng's price. Moreover, he bought raw stone number 163 that no one wanted. This was not just a coincidence. Lin Luoran tries her best to suppress her anger. We have been standing by her side all the time. We are so far away from her. How could she know that we want to buy number 163? Lu Zheng looked around and saw a person circling around them, pretending to look at the raw stones but not doing anything. Wang Miao Yi follows his gaze and nods. You're late. Those are Ellie's men. I was wondering why two of Ellie's men are missing. It turns out that this is her plan. Lin Luoran sneers. We are all wrong about Mississippi. Ellie didn't bring so many men this time to show off. I'm afraid this is her plan. Buying the raw stones at the lowest price? Although all businessmen are unscrupulous, this kind of trick is too shameful. Hearing Lin Luoran's words, Wang Miao Yi observes carefully. As Lin Luoran said, the buyers brought by Ellie are scattered around the yard. They are among the jade merchants, pretending to look at the raw stones and quoting prices from time to time. It seems that they are discussing the price with the boss normally. However, they look a little nervous, which shows that they are not looking at the raw stones seriously. It's not a big deal. She doesn't know that we have seen through her. Luoran, go fill out another list and bid 590,000 for one. She will be the one disgusted by then. I'll go and remind the other bosses that if she wants to play, we can play with her. Seeing that even Lu Zheng, who usually doesn't get involved in these things, nods, Wang Miao Yi smiles. Manager Lu, this is the chance for Treasure House. Ellie has always been arrogant. Fortune House must have a problem with its capital chain if she does something like this. Lu Zheng claps his hands. Fortune House has been dominating the jewelry and jade industry in S province for many years. It won't happen overnight. Besides, even if it is true, this is our chance. We, Treasure House, have no plan to be the second Fortune House. Wang Miao Yi sighs. It's a pity that Grandpa Ellie's hard work was passed on to his son instead of his daughter. Now he has such an arrogant granddaughter. Lu Zheng took out a handkerchief and wiped his glasses. He said in a low voice. I heard that Grandpa AI is just dragging his days in the hospital. He is praised by my grandpa. As the younger generation, we should wait for a while before we act. Wang Miao Yi nods and goes to talk to the other bosses with a smile. Hearing that Lu Zheng and Sister Wang can estimate the current situation of the Fortune House, Lin Luoran can't help but sigh that she is still far behind these businessmen. Also, Lu Zheng and Sister Wang say that they will take action in a few days. Lin Luoran doesn't believe that they are just showing respect to Grandpa AI. Maybe they are afraid of him. I didn't hear what you said today. I'm a narrow-minded girl and Miss Ellie has gone too far. Let's make her suffer first. Lin Luoran tilts her head and looks at Lu Zheng with a smile. Lu Zheng can't say anything against Lin Luoran. He touches his nose and smiles bitterly. In fact, Lin Luoran is a good-tempered girl. If Baojia were Lin Luoran, she would be a lady if she didn't cut Miss Ellie with a knife. Thinking of his childhood sweetheart Baojia and the marriage between the two families, Lu Zheng suddenly has an inexplicable irritation. Lin Luoran doesn't have the supernatural power of mind connection, so she can't know what Lu Zheng is thinking. Instead, she starts to walk around in the pile of raw stones with interest. This stone is good. The starting price is only 800,000 yuan. There is green in it and the fog is not so strong. Lin Luoran guesses that the quality of the stone is not very good. After cutting it, she can still make a profit. Lin Luoran can roughly judge the quality of the jade according to the intensity of the reiki. However, she can't see the color that affects the final price. Therefore, she is not sure that every stone will make a profit, especially the ambiguous ones. Looking at Ellie's men who are eavesdropping, Lin Luoran comes up with an idea. She raises her voice and says, "Mr. Lu." As expected, those men start to pay attention to the conversation between Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng. "Mr. Lu, the number 96 stone will definitely have green in it. We can make a profit of at least 10 times. If we pay a higher price, we will be more confident to get it. What do you think?" Lu Zheng is very cooperative. He says seriously, "Mrs. Lin, are you sure? You have to be responsible for what you said. It's not easy to get a high salary from Mrs. Lu." Lin Luoran feels like she is in a movie. She holds back her laughter and nods solemnly. Lu Zhen pretends that he has been thinking for a long time. He says, "Since you are so confident, I'll listen to you. The price of 2.49 million is followed by 9. I guess no one can pay a higher price than us." Chapter 46. Lin Luoran has lunch in this farmyard. There are several tables in the two-story building. It's like a banquet and it's very lively. Putting aside the different opinions of doing business, the local Dai people are very enthusiastic and the Burmese people are not bad. Not to mention the jade merchants who deal with people all day long, the guests and the hosts are all happy. The Dai people don't eat overnight rice. As the staple food, rice and glutinous rice are freshly pounded and cooked. They eat rice balls with their hands. They believe that this way, the rice will not lose its color and fragrance. Different places nurture different people. Lin Luoran doesn't think it's indecent to eat rice balls with her hands. On the contrary, it's a different taste and she enjoys it. The glutinous rice balls are dipped in crab sauce, which is called crab namabu by the Dai people. It's a special flavor of the Dai people. In addition to the main dishes such as roast chicken and fire fish, the other dishes and snacks are mainly sour, such as sour bamboo shoots, sour pea powder, sour meat and wild sour fruits. Lin Luoran can accept all of these. She even drinks 2 bowls of the Dai people's wine. Because it's home brewed, it's sweet and has a low alcohol content. The only thing that she can't accept are the plates of local snacks, including cicadas, bamboo worms, spiders, field turtles, and ant eggs. Lin Luoran is scared. Even though she is a cultivator, she is a woman. How can she eat these things? How can she eat them? Lin Luoran makes an excuse that she has drunk too much and wants to go out for some fresh air. The Dai people also know how to appreciate beauty. Seeing that Lin Luoran is pretty and her cheeks are rosy, and she just drank from a big bowl, they agree to let her leave first. Lin Luoran likes the banana tree that is everywhere in the Dai people. The broad leaves make people feel better. Lin Luoran stands under the banana tree and thinks for a while. A gust of wind and her cheeks are burning. Lin Luoran realizes that she is flushed because of the wine. When she is about to run reiki to get rid of the wine, she hears a familiar voice behind her. "Luoran, how have you been recently? You've lost weight." Lin Luoran feels that she is struck by lightning. The word disgusting is written all over her head. She turns around and sees Li Anping pretending to be an artistic young man who thinks he is extraordinarily handsome. He is holding a banana tree and pretending to be an affectionate young man. This tone. Wasn't he tricked like this in the past? Why does it look so disgusting now? Li Anping sees that Lin Luoran is doubting herself for a while and believes that she has a chance. Luoran, you know my family situation. In fact, I was just fooling around with Ellie. I wanted to get a promotion so that we could get married sooner. That's why I behaved myself in front of Ellie. However, Ellie misunderstood that I was interested in her and kept chasing me. If I refused her, I would lose my job. That's why I was obsessed with her. Luoran, I've always loved you. Li Anping's affectionate makes her feel cold. Lin Luoran suspects that Li Anping thinks she is a moron. Otherwise, how could he say such disgusting words? Then what do you want? Seeing that there is no one around, Lin Luoran comes up with some bad ideas. She wonders if she should teach Li Anping a lesson so that he will never disgust her again. Well. Li Anping chokes. If it were before, Lin Luoran would be touched by him. Why is she so calm this time? Thinking of Lin Luoran standing side by side with the young boss of Luz, Li Anping curses her bitch in his heart. However, he has to force a smile. Luoran, I think we should have some savings before we get married, right? How long can we save by working alone? Your 6 million yuan is useless in a place like our city. Why don't we make some money together and live comfortably for the rest of our lives? Although Lin Luoran is not the same as before, she is still stunned by Li Anping's words. What kind of thinking did he have to do to help her plan the use of the 6 million he earned after cheating on her? Although Lin Luoran knows that there is no bottom line for morons, her anger turns into embarrassment when she remembers that this moron in front of her used to be her lover. How are you going to make money? Li Anping's eyes light up. Lin Luoran still cares about him. He is a little hesitant now. If Lin Luoran really has the ability to turn stones into jade, should he hold on to it or should he give it to Ellie? No matter how he thought about it, he had already spent so much time and effort on Ellie. Li Anping couldn't bear to give up now. Besides, judging from Lin Luoran's current situation, even if he can't get Ellie, he still has a way out in the future. Thinking of this, Li Anping cheers up and says in a softer tone, well, Luoran, you have been very lucky recently. However, no matter how lucky you are, you still don't have enough money to bid for the biggest raw stone, right? Lin Luoran squints and nods, yes. In fact, she is thinking that no matter how rich she is, she won't bid for that big raw stone. Encouraged, Li Anping says excitedly, Luoran, do you think there will be jade in that stone? Is it worth gambling? Hearing this, if Lin Luoran still doesn't know why Li Anping is here, she should kill herself with a piece of tofu. Thinking of this, she pretends to be angry. Li Anping, are you still trying to get information from me? You want to please Ellie with information? No way. No matter how much she wants that raw stone, she can't get it from Lu's hands. Li Anping's eyes light up. Luoran, don't get me wrong. Everything I do is for our future. Is there really a chance to get that raw stone? Lin Luoran pretends to cry, go away. I won't believe you anymore. Li Anping gets the news. Although he is angry about Lin Luoran's current beauty, his years of experience tells him that no matter how beautiful a woman is, she can't compare to brother Kong Fang's feelings. Only money matters. Li Anping walks away reluctantly. Lin Luoran stays where she is. Her eyes are so cold that she is about to throw out the ice shuttle. Suddenly, a laugh came from the depths of the banana trees. It sounded like a man's laughter. Lin Luoran thinks that he can bear it. She pretends to be surprised. Who is there? You are so tough to me. It turns out that you are just like this in front of others. His voice is frivolous and he has to lower his head to get out of the bushes. Who else can it be other than foppish Mu? Lin Luoran's tearful look is gone. She raises her eyebrows and asks, you are a foppish playboy. How could you do such a tasteless thing as eavesdropping? You are such a disgrace to all foppish playboys. Mu Tiannan curls his lips. I'm here to digest my food. Who do you think wants to listen to your sour emotional entanglements? But you've always been like this. I can't tell. He winks at Mu Tiannan, which is really annoying. Lin Luoran says angrily, mind your own business. She stomps her feet and turns around to leave. If it weren't for the fact that she doesn't want to expose her strength, she wouldn't have let Mu Tiannan watch her play for so long. Mu Tiannan touches his nose and murmurs, what a cunning girl. She is not cute at all. Although Mu Tiannan defines Lin Luoran as cunning, when he thinks about the tearful look he saw in the dark, he thinks it is not necessarily an act. Mu Tiannan considers himself to be a man who has tender feelings for women. It is almost his nature to hate seeing women sad. At this time, he automatically filters out the sadness of women he abandoned in the past. Thinking of Lin Luoran's ridiculous plot, he touches his nose. Chapter 47. Only when the buyer is confirmed can the raw stone be cut open in public. If there is jade, the raw stone can be sold at a sky-high price. The Burmese host has been dealing with raw stones for so many years, but he hasn't learned much about identifying jade. However, he has mastered the trick of judging the price. He is not sure whether there is jade in the raw stone, so he picks raw stones with intense bidding, for example, the stone number 96. The Burmese host doesn't think highly of this stone at all. He throws it into the pile of raw stones just to make up the number. The base price is 800,000 yuan, but someone offers 2.5 million yuan. The Burmese host feels that he is either hallucinating or these mainlanders are crazy. The number 2.5 million yuan is strange. Except for the Burmese host and Ellie, all the mainlanders laugh when the Burmese host announces that the stone belongs to Ellie. Ellie doesn't know why they are laughing. She asks Li Anping in a low voice and understands the meaning of the number 250. Of course, Ellie has to vent her dissatisfaction. Li Anping is used to it, and a few more bruises appear on his arm. The Burmese host asks Ellie if she wants to cut the stone. Ellie thinks that she has been fooled. Maybe Lu Zheng has seen through her trick of sending someone to listen to the price. Otherwise, how could they get such a number? They must have done it on purpose. However, Ellie is in a dilemma. Many people are staring at her, waiting to see her make a fool of herself. If she doesn't dare to cut the stone in public, it will seem that Fortune House is timid. Cut it, of course not. Cut it right now. The Burmese host asks someone to put number 96 on the cutting machine and asks Ellie how to cut it. Ellie now feels that the think tank she brought here are all useless, so she tells the Burmese host to cut it as she pleases. The Burmese host has been unhappy with her disrespect for a long time. Hearing that she can cut it as she pleases, he doesn't hesitate and asks someone to cut it in the middle. Number 96 is cut in half. There is jade in the 250. It is Wang Miao Yi who exclaims with her hands covering her mouth. Her eyes are wide open as if she is very surprised. She says, there is jade in the stone, but she adds, 250, which makes Ellie feel unhappy. Ellie cranes her neck to take a look. There is a touch of green in the middle of the raw stone. There are two large cuts, and both sides of the raw stone have jade. Ellie takes a look at the color and decides that she has made a profit this time. She pretends that she didn't hear Wang Miao Yi's words. An idiot actually cut out a glutinous seed. This is too shocking. Lin Luoran also knows the speaker. He is the guy from Guangzhou whom she met at Mr. Zhang's place last time. He is obviously praising her, but his Mandarin with a Guangzhou accent sounds weird. Compared with Wang Miao Yi, who wants to keep Ellie alive to get even with her in the future, and the Cantonese guy, Fatty Chui has no scruples at all, I'd rather buy a piece of jade than a piece of jade. If I cut the jade in the middle, there will be no good jade. That's what Miss Ellie said last time. Last time when Lin Luoran cut the stone in Mr. Zhang's shop, Ellie did say something like this. She doesn't expect that Fatty Chui still remembers it. She glares at Fatty Chui fiercely. Then she is pissed off by Fatty Chui's wretched look. Before the two Buddhas come out of their bodies, she quickly withdraws her gaze and says to the crowd, even if the green is 1 inch deeper, it will still be a big profit. Is there anyone who wants to buy this stone? It is Ellie who wants to bid. It seems that she is really scared by Fatty Chui's words. For one thing, an idiot is too unlucky. For another, Ellie's previous act of inquiring about the price has been known by other businessmen. Besides, after Fatty Chui's words, everyone can't help but take a closer look. No one wants to take this hot potato, so they all shake their heads and don't bid. Only a boss from Fujian province doesn't know what the little boss of Fortune House has done. He tries to bid 500,000. However, Ellie stares at him and he stops talking. He retreats into the crowd and doesn't speak anymore. A bunch of ignorant people. Ellie curses in a low voice and asks the Burmese man to cut all the raw stone open. Lu Zheng looks at Lin Luoran, who has been smirking, and says in a low voice, "Do you want us to buy it at a lower price?" Lin Luoran shakes her head. Others don't know the condition of the raw stone, so they don't buy it, let alone Lin Luoran, who knows the condition of the stone. Ellie's cut is really wrong. Lin Luoran thinks of the inconspicuous stones she has seen before and wonders if anyone has bought them. She really hopes that Ellie's raw stone, which is worth 250, can be cut out soon. Lin Luoran looks around and happens to see Fopishmu. Fopishmu gives her a creepy smile, which makes Lin Luoran dare not to look at him anymore. She can only concentrate on learning some common knowledge about raw stone identification from Lu Zheng. Anyway, Lin Luoran has already made a lot of Reiki on this trip. She doesn't need to care about anything else. She can cheat Ellie and make the couple suffer. If things don't work out, she won't lose anything. Why not? The two of them are chatting. Lu Zheng can see that Lin Luoran is absent-minded, so he doesn't say anything and just smiles. Finally, Ellie's raw stone is cut out. Along with it, there are exclamations one after another. The stone really lives up to its price. Fortunately, I didn't buy it. That's right, that's right. This kind of material is a scam. Don't talk nonsense, you two. In fact, it's the wrong cut. Otherwise, we can get some bracelets. How can we not make money? Ellie stands still. The aviator sunglasses that cover 1/3 of her face can't hide her emotions. Why is it not good to cut out the green material? It's a pity that there is only a thin layer on both sides of the raw stone. As those people said, it is very easy to take out the bracelets if it is not cut in the middle. Now, Ellie wonders if she can grind out some egg surface to make up for the loss. All this is because she chose to cut it in the middle because she was not careful enough. For the first time, Ellie feels that her temples are throbbing. She doesn't care about the 2.5 million yuan, but she is angry that she has wasted 2.5 million yuan and bought such a bad reputation. As a prideful person, she will never allow it. She takes a step back and pulls Li Anping aside. Tell me again. What did the girl of the Lin family say? Li Anping cuts out the previous mushy words and deliberately emphasizes that Lin Luoran doesn't want Ellie to buy the huge raw stone. He also adds his own opinion. According to Lin Luoran's character, she must be optimistic about the stone. Lin Luoran can't even protect her man. She is so useless. However, according to what happened last time and this time, Lin Luoran must have some secret skills in identifying jade. Ellie says that, but she doesn't believe that Lin Luoran is just lucky. Chapter 48. She sends someone to spy on the prices of the raw stones, but Wang Miao-yi reveals it. She tells the jade merchants about it. They just raise the price a little bit and all the raw stones are bought, except for 2 merchants who are suspicious of Wang Miao-yi. They don't raise the price, so Ellie gets a bargain. Fortune House gets nothing this time. What was even more unacceptable was that out of the raw stones she robbed from the other two bosses, she only found a fist-sized piece of egg white that was full of cracks in one of them. She got nothing out of more than 10 raw stones. Is this the raw stone you mentioned? How dare he sell us such an expensive raw stone without opening the window? Ellie spends almost 20 million yuan, but she only gets 2 pieces of the glutinous stone that can't be taken out of the bracelet and 1 piece of egg white. Ellie is a little unlucky, but no wonder she is blaming the Burmese man. The bosses of the 2 shops whose raw stones were snatched away by Ali wiped their cold sweat. They were very glad that they had given up such bad luck to Ali. The Burmese man is already gloomy, and now his face is even darker. If he had known that Miss AI from the Fortune House would be so unlucky today, he wouldn't have chosen her material. Now he doesn't even know whether he can sell the last stone or not. The Burmese man is really suffering in silence. Wu Dan, why don't we open the raw stone? Lose one. Lin Luoran says. Different from Ellie, Lu Zheng has just told her about the characteristics of Burmese people's names. She knows that this Burmese man is much older than her and he is able to smuggle raw stones out, so he must have a high status in Burma. Therefore, Lin Luoran doesn't feel bad adding the word Wu in front of Dan. Burmese people have no surnames. Before a Burmese man becomes an adult, he usually adds the word Mao in front of his name to show his modesty. Sometimes, to show intimacy, the elders add the word Mao in front of the name of a man who is younger than them. People add the word brother in front of the name of a man who is of the same generation or younger than them. For example, a Burmese couple named their son Kyo Win. When Kyo Win was still a child, people called him Mong Kyo Win. When he became an adult, they called him Gu Kyo Win. When he grew older or attained a certain social status, people respectfully called him Wu Kyo Win. The Burmese man is satisfied with Lin's intelligence. Beautiful girl, you will be lucky. Let's do as you say. Number 163. Bought by Lu's treasure house. The price is 590,000 yuan. Start cutting the raw stone. The Burmese host shouts while his men carry the raw stone onto the cutting machine. This material is too ordinary. How could there be jade in it? When the jade merchant from Fujian heard that he had only spent 500,000 yuan and that the raw stone looked so ordinary, the anticipation in his heart immediately cooled down. You are so ignorant. Miss Lin is the new magic hand in the circle. No matter how bad the appearance is, the stone she likes must be made of gold and jade. It is a guy from Guangzhou who replies and smiles at Lin flatteringly. Lin Luoran bursts into laughter. The guy from Guangzhou is not complimenting her. He is obviously belittling Ellie's raw stone, which is worth 2.5 million yuan. It seems that Ellie has made a lot of enemies. Miss Lin, how do you want to cut this stone? The Burmese host has asked Ellie the same question, but Ellie says that she can do whatever she wants. However, Lin pretends to think carefully about the direction of the jade. After a while, she draws 3 lines on the raw stone and intersects them. She says with a smile, I want the one in the middle. Thank you, Wu Dan. The Burmese host says that it is no trouble at all. He operates the cutting machine and cuts the stone according to the 3 lines drawn by Lin. When the stone is cut open, the guy from Guangzhou exclaims, wow, it seems to be green. Colored is the best and green is the most precious. Miss Lin, your price has risen again. Not to mention Lu Zheng, his uncle, Wang Miao, Yi and Fatty Chui. Even Mr. Zhang, whom Lin Luoran has only met once, is happy for Lin Luoran. They are all residents of our city. If Lin Luoran gets a raise, they will all be proud. Fatty Chui, the girl in your family has picked up the fairy's hand. She is so lucky. Mr. Zhang is a little jealous. If he had known that the fairy's hand was so magical, he would have accepted Lin Luoran as his girlfriend when she got 2 green stones with 2,000 yuan. Pfft. That's because you're blind, old Zhang. You can't tell the difference between gold and jade. Why are you feeling sour now? Wang Miao-yi replies with her arms akimbo. Mr. Zhang is speechless. He is also afraid of this tigress from the Cui family. Mu Tiannan hears everything and asks curiously, what's the story behind it? Why is she called the fairy's hand? Fatty Cui says excitedly, that's my sore spot. He has piled up waste in the yard for several years and Miss Lin bought it. In the middle of his words, Fatty Cui suddenly realizes that the playboy beside him is actually a fierce man who can bend steel bars with his bare hands. Fatty Cui is targeted because of the jade. Isn't Lin Luoran going to bring trouble to Lin Luoran? Fatty Cui stops talking immediately. Mu Tiannan knows what Fatty Cui is worried about, so he doesn't explain. Instead, he asks Wang Miao-yi the same question. Wang Miao-yi is happy for Lin Luoran. She also thinks that Mu Tiannan doesn't treat them badly even though he forced them to buy raw stones. Therefore, Wang Miao-yi doesn't hide anything from him. She tells Mu Tiannan about how Lin Luoran got 8 million yuan worth of raw stones with 2,000 yuan in Mr. Zhang's shop. Mr. Zhang is the witness. Turning stone into jade? Is it really so magical? Mu Tiannan is curious. He has also tracked down Mr. Zhang who sold the raw stone to Fatty Cui. Mr. Zhang is an authentic raw material merchant and there is nothing strange about him. This clue is broken here, which makes Mu Tiannan very angry. That's why he made a childish action of bending the steel bar in front of Fatty Cui. Unexpectedly, Fatty Cui is very afraid of death, which makes it convenient for him to act. Of course it's magical. The spring color you bought was also sold by my Miss Lin. Wang Miao-yi says and stares at Mu Tiannan unwillingly. She doesn't notice that Fatty Cui is blinking his eyes. It is not strange to cut out a piece of top-grade jade. Even if there are two, it is just luck. Now that Lin Luoran can cut out a piece of spring color in such a short time, he has to pay attention to it. Mu Tiannan's eyes turn to the so-called yang green material in the middle of the yard. He suddenly becomes interested. Turning stone into jade. In this case, Lin Luoran, who stole his ginseng seeds, is more suitable to help him find jade than Fatty Cui. Lin Luoran is telling the Burmese man how to cut the jade. She feels creepy as if she is being stared at by a poisonous snake. Chapter 49. It is said that even gods can't cut an inch of jade. What about Lin Luoran in front of them? Lin Luoran's hands are real. Everyone looks at Lin Luoran with burning eyes, not because of her beauty, but because of her hands that can turn stone into jade. Lin Luoran blushes slightly. According to her character, she would never do such a showy thing. Only by keeping quiet can she make a fortune. Life has taught Lin Luoran this truth. The problem is that she has to show off if she wants to lure Ellie and Lianping. Lin Luoran doesn't know what she will gain or lose at the moment. Don't worry. They are just envious of Ms. Lu. They won't do anything. Lu Zheng comforts Lin Luoran in a low voice. Lin Luoran smiles at him gratefully. She may have to walk on a lonely path of cultivation. How can she let today's glory, doubt, or even jealousy become an obstacle on her path of cultivation? Lin Luoran asks herself in her heart. Her mind is clear again. When she looks at everyone's burning eyes, she becomes the calm and indifferent Lin Luoran again. Even if something really happens, I will protect you. This was what Lu Zheng really wanted to say, but he just couldn't say it. Seeing that Lin Luoran looks calm, he is relieved. Not to mention that Lu Zheng's uncle now approves of Lu Zheng's sharp eyes. Even the Burmese man who has been in this business for so many years has sold at least 9,000 raw stones. It is the first time for him to see such a situation. This girl, she is so lucky. Fortunately, he didn't offend her. Otherwise, he would be so regretful. People in this business are all superstitious. The Burmese man feels lucky. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come from afar and it's getting late. What do you think? Is it necessary for us to continue cutting stones? Why don't we take advantage of Miss Lin's good luck and sell the most important stone as well? Everyone cheers. They all like to hear such happy words. Lin Luoran's continuous cutting of several stones has green, which greatly dispels Ellie's bad luck. The Burmese man is also relieved. If Ellie's bad luck affects the auction of the most important stone, he will be heartbroken. The bigger the stone is, the harder it is to smuggle it. It is not hard to imagine how much effort the Burmese man has put in to make this 3-meter-high stone. Wu Dan, you haven't put a price on this stone. Can you tell us the base price now? The jade merchant from Fujian says. According to the Burmese man, all the stones here are from the old pit. With so many experts here, the Burmese man doesn't dare to lie. Although not all of the stones have green, the ones with green are worth a lot, which is in line with the characteristics of the stones from the old pit. In comparison, everyone was looking forward to the huge stone in front of them. At the very least, they might not be able to buy such a huge stone again in their lifetime. Hearing someone asking for a price, the Burmese host mysteriously sticks out one finger to show the price. Fatty Chui is the first to jump up. Why don't you just rob a bank? The base price is 100 million. Do you still want people to bid? Of the. Of li of woo. 1 million. Everyone in the room is in an uproar. If the starting price is 100 million yuan, only those powerful companies will bid for it. However, the Burmese man starts the bidding at 1 million yuan. Obviously, he is trying to raise the price by stirring things up. Lu Zheng whispered, when do we make our move? Lin Luoran shakes her head, let's see what happens first. Don't scare her away. Hearing that the starting price was 1 million yuan, Ellie sneered and shouted out, 10 million yuan first. She jumped 10 times in a row, stopping many people from bidding before they could even open their mouths. Wang Miao-yi has hated Lin Luoran for a long time. She says without blinking, 20 million yuan. Although it was a rare huge raw stone, the window wasn't open, so it was rare to see such a crazy bid. The Fujian jade merchant was not willing to let the two heroines monopolize the beauty in front of him. He also joined in the fun and said, we are not as rich as them. I will add another 5 million, 25 million. The Guangzhou guy stiffened his neck. 35 million. He knows that Wang Miao-yi and Ellie don't get along. He wants to add to the fire, so he adds another 10 million yuan. The Burmese man is experienced and knowledgeable, but he seldom sees people bidding at least 10 million. Obviously, these people are trying to play psychological warfare. They are trying to pressure their opponents by bidding 10 million. As a result, their opponents learn from each other and no one wins the upper hand. Hearing their bidding, the Burmese man smiles brightly. Lu, if we want to bid for this stone, we should go in now. If we can't control the price in the end, it will be our family that suffers losses. Seeing that Lu Zheng and Lin Luoran both care about the bidding but refuse to participate, the Burmese man couldn't help interrupting. He thinks that Lu Zheng and Lin Luoran are still waiting for the right time. Lin Luoran doesn't know what to say. Lu Zheng explains calmly, Uncle, look at the atmosphere in the room. The Lu family can't control the price. Let's wait a little longer. No one can see Ellie's eyes through the aviators. Hearing that the price of this raw stone is at least 10 million yuan, she is not angry. Instead, she says happily, 50 million yuan. 50 million yuan. It sounds like an abstract number, but it is definitely enough to kill someone if it is converted into RMB. Li Anping knew that Ali's family was rich, but he didn't imagine that they were rich to this extent. 50 million yuan was spent without even blinking. Thinking of the scene of the two of them together, Li Anping felt a little resentful towards Ali for being too stingy. Li Anping is imagining things. Suddenly, Ellie pulls him and asks, didn't you say that the girl of the Lin family is interested in this stone? Why don't I see the Lu family? Could it be that the two of you colluded to set a trap for me? Lianping's words make him break out in a cold sweat. If Lin Luoran is lying, he can't bear the responsibility of losing 50 million yuan even if he has to sell his meat. How dare he deny it? He can only show his loyalty and call her honey many times to dispel Ellie's suspicion. Humph, I don't think you have the guts. Wang Miao Yi adds another 10 million yuan. When the price is transferred back to Ellie, the price has risen to 90 million yuan, that is almost an 8-figure sum of money. The weather in Rueli is cool and the temperature is pleasant in winter. However, Lianping feels that his back is completely wet with sweat. Chapter 50. Everyone on the scene gasps and exclaims. Ellie is the first one who can't accept it. Do you have 100 million yuan? How dare you bid randomly? Don't you know the rules? In the beginning, Lin Luoran has been bidding for a long time. When the price reaches 90 million yuan and Fortune House is determined to get the raw stone, Lin Luoran suddenly jumps out and bids a round number of 100 million. Lin Luoran is deliberately going against Fortune House. Lu Zheng is about to say something when Mu Tiannan, who has been watching the drama for a long time, laughs and says, "You are funny." Since she dares to bid 100 million yuan, she certainly can afford it. Even if she can't, I can lend it to her today. You? Since you know Lin Luoran, you are also poor. You have no evidence. Why should I believe you? Even Fatty Chui who brought Mu Tiannan here doesn't know his background, let alone Ellie. Of course, Fatty Chui knows that Mu Tiannan is powerful and rich. Mu Tiannan doesn't care. He takes out an inconspicuous bank card and asks the Burmese man to check it. Fortunately, Mu Tiannan is not shameless. He doesn't shout that this is a gold card from a certain bank and the overdraft limit is XXXX like in novels. Ellie sneers with her hands crossed, if he can't find it now, shall we wait for his whole life? Mu Tiannan pats on Fatty Chui's shoulder, Mr. Chui can also lend me 100 million yuan, right, Mr. Chui? Mu Tiannan emphasizes the word, Mr. Chui. What can Fatty Chui do? Thinking that Mu Tiannan's hand that can bend steel bars is on his shoulder and he is so close to Wang Miao Yi, Fatty Chui says bitterly, of course. Master Mu, I can guarantee you even if you have 1 billion yuan. Mu Tiannan smiles proudly and looks at Lin Luoran. He finds that Lin Luoran doesn't even look at him. Instead, she is whispering to Lu Zheng, the young master of Lu's family. Well, I do a good deed every day, but you treat me like a donkey. Lin Luoran is wronged. According to the unpleasant encounters between them, Lin Luoran will never believe that Mu Tiannan is helping her. Of course, she thinks that foppish Mu is having a stroke. She doesn't know what he is up to. Lu Zheng raises his head and says calmly, Miss Ai, you are too impatient. Lin Luoran is now the buyer of Lu's company. The price she offers is naturally the company's. Ha, then there's no problem. Let's continue. Does Miss Ai still want to continue bidding? The Burmese man hears that Lin Luoran's bid is final. He doesn't care if someone lends money to her or on behalf of Lu's. As long as someone pays in the end, the Burmese man comes out to smooth things over. Ali's eyes, which were covered by her sunglasses, twitched. She sneered, let them fight for it first. I'd like to see how many people can afford to buy a stone with 100 million yuan. Hearing that Ellie has stopped bidding, Lin Luoran doesn't panic as Ellie imagined. She still stands beside Lu Zheng calmly. They are a perfect match. In comparison, Ellie suddenly feels that Lianping, who is born in the countryside, is a bit embarrassed. For the first time, Ellie starts to feel dissatisfied with Lianping, who is obviously not confident when standing beside her. Mu Tiannan sneers, have you checked my card? Am I also qualified to bid? The Burmese man notices that Mu Tian-nan is arrogant and he doesn't know who Mu Tian-nan is, so he says to wait and asks Lu's company not to worry. Lin Luoran is not willing to buy this stone, especially when it costs 100 million yuan. Of course, she has to wait for someone to bid. After a while, the Burmese man who took Mu Tian-nan's bank card comes back and whispers in the Burmese man's ear. The Burmese man smiles. Mr. Mu, of course you are qualified to bid. You can start now. The Burmese man doesn't mention what the mysterious card represents. Later, it becomes a mystery in everyone's mind. 100 million, and 1 yuan. What do you think? Mu Tian-nan adds 1 yuan as if it's child's play. Everyone starts to jeer. Obviously, Mu Tian-nan is going against Lu's company. How can he add 1 yuan like this? Even Ailey could not help but laugh out loud. She had thought that this Cheng Yao Jin would appear out of nowhere, but it seemed that even the heavens were on her side. This Cheng Yao Jin had actually changed direction. Wang Miao sneers, it's not a big deal to bully a girl. I'll add 10 million yuan. 110 million yuan. Even if it was a common material, it wouldn't be so expensive. Was this boulder really worth that much? Hey, is Wang Miao crazy? Why is she joining in? The Cantonese man pokes Fatty Chui and asks in a low voice. Except for big companies like Fortune House and Treasure House, such a high bidding price was not something that a mid-level jade merchant like them could afford. 100 million yuan may not be a lot for jade. However, for a jade boss, if he fails, he will lose all his working capital. Fatty Chui glances at Mu Tian-nan. The fat on his neck is shaking. He grits his teeth and says, she is crazy. How can I not be with her? I'll just rob the east wall to pay the west wall. What else can I do? The Cantonese man is in awe. He pats Fatty Chui's shoulder and says, Fatty, you're great. I didn't lose for nothing. Fatty Chui looks at his rival in love for more than 20 years and says, what do you mean you didn't lose for nothing? Don't flatter yourself. You've never won against your brother Chui. The Cantonese man leaves dejectedly. Before Fatty Chui can be proud for 2 seconds, Mu Tian-nan's cold voice comes, well done, Fatty. I didn't know you were a Casanova. Fatty Chui looks around to make sure no one is around. He lowers his voice and says, Master Mu, you should stop now. I really don't know what kind of reiki you have. If you dare to hurt my wife, I won't let you go even if you become a ghost. Mu Tian-nan looks indifferent at first. Then he says to Fatty Chui seriously, Fatty, I have good news for you. Fatty Chui stares at him suspiciously. He doesn't know what Master Mu is going to do. What do you want? Mu Tian-nan shrugs, I just want to tell you that from today on, you are free. I won't follow you anymore. Really? Fatty Chui blinks and rubs his thick fingers. He can't believe it. Yes. Of course. Mu Tian-nan nods solemnly because he has changed his target. Hearing that the price is gradually raised to 120 million yuan, Mu Tian-nan touches his nose and adds another piece. Ellie looks at him with contempt, but he still ignores Lin Luoran. Looking at Lin Luoran standing beside the man with glasses who pretends to be gentle, Mu Tian-nan will never admit that he is inexplicably jealous at this moment. Chapter 51. Lin Luoran is not an ignorant girl. First of all, this raw stone is huge. Unless the owner is extremely unlucky, there must be something valuable in it. Second, the raw stone is black, which means that there is a high possibility of green. Third, Fortune House is short of supplies. The internal problem is even more serious than what Lu Zheng and Wang Miao have expected. Ellie has been wearing sunglasses today because she doesn't want others to see anything wrong with her eyes. Who knows that Ellie, who is usually arrogant, can't sleep all night last night and has dark circles under her eyes today? Who would know that every time she made a bold bid, her palms were sweating? Why do you people have to go against me? Ellie clenches her hands and thinks bitterly. She has completely forgotten who provoked her first. 150 million. Hearing Mu Tiannan raising the price one by one, Ellie can't stand it anymore. She directly raises the price to a new height. Fortune House is determined to get this raw stone. Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng look at each other. They both know that Ellie means, quit while you're ahead. If Ellie keeps raising the price, she may really give up. In that case, Lu's mother will have to buy such a big raw stone. As for Mu Tiannan, he is just trying to drive up the price with the idea of doing a good deed every day. Wang Miao simply hates Mu Tiannan. Since Lin Luoran stopped bidding, the two of them have stopped bidding as a chain reaction. The Burmese man asks in a loud and slow voice, 150 million going twice. Is there anyone else who wants to bid? If no one bids, this raw stone, which is being fought over by several big companies, will fall into the hands of Miss Ellie of Fortune House. Not everyone had the courage to spend 150 million to buy a stone. Those who had the strength did not compete, and the small fries could only watch from the sidelines. At this moment, there is a strange silence for a few seconds. Haha, 150 million going thrice. Miss Ellie, congratulations. You are the owner of stone number 1. The Burmese man is already surprised that the stone is sold at 150 million. He is satisfied with it. Together with other raw stones, he has made a lot of money this time. Lin Luoran sighs in a low voice, Miss AI is really rich. She spent 150 million on such a stone. Lu Zheng asked curiously, why? Does our immortal hand believe that Ali will definitely suffer a loss this time? Seeing that Lu Zheng's uncle is also listening, Lin Luoran smiles, I didn't say anything. Let's have a look first. Mu Tiannan was absent-minded for a moment because of this smile. He suddenly turned his head and said, Miss AI, we can't compete with you for the raw stone. Why don't we open it for everyone to see? It was clearly a low price of 1 million, but Ali kept saying, 10 million, leaving no room for bidding. The jade merchants had long been dissatisfied, and now they were making a scene. Yes, the Fortune House is rich and overbearing. This small amount of money is like a drizzle. Miss AI, why don't you show us the artificial rain today? Yes, that's the way to put it. The Cantonese guy was very good at jumping around. He was definitely involved in the uproar. Li Anping was stunned by the price of 150 million. He asked in a low voice, are we really going to cut it on the spot? Looking at the jeering, dissatisfied, and uproar faces. Lin Luoran, who is standing beside Lu Zheng, is looking at her with a smile. Ali felt that it was dazzling and her pupils contracted under her glasses. Ignoring Li Anping, she said to the crowd with a smile, thank you for your help today. In this case, the stone of Fortune House will be cut on the spot. Wang Miao clapped her hands, Miss AI, you are so generous. No wonder you can take over Grandpa AI's business. You are in for a treat today. Wang Miao winked at Lin Luoran, which made Lin Luoran laugh. Sister Wang seems to be generous, but she is actually very meticulous. Wang Miao must think that her unusual character is not right, so she deliberately raised the price of Ali's raw stone with Lin Luoran. Whether there is jade in the raw stone or not, Ali's raw stone is worth more than half today. Lin Luoran decided to collect some interest for the time being. She hasn't paid Li Anping's share yet. The raw stone is too big, so cutting it becomes a big problem. When the giant cutting machine arrived, it couldn't enter the house, so it had to roll the raw stone to the dam outside the house. For this, the wall of the Dai family was damaged. The news of cutting the huge stone has spread all over the village like it has wings. Many people, including the elderly, come to see it with their children. It has been a long time since noon. Luckily, the sun is still in the sky because of the long sunshine in Rueli. However, it seems that the sun is going to set in the west, so they have to hurry to cut the stone. For such a big stone, it doesn't matter whether to draw lines or not. Though they don't burn incense and take a bath in the traditional way, the Burmese man finds a red cloth and puts a string of firecrackers on it. It is a kind of blessing before cutting the stone. Miss, we'd better ship it back to the old masters to study it. Not to mention others, even the purchasing group brought by Ellie feels a little diffident at the sight of the raw stones they have bought with such a huge amount of money. They suggest that the stones should be transported back to S province and studied how to cut them after the experienced masters have seen them. This time, Ali and her purchasing group have ulterior motives. The old masters are the best in the industry and they value their reputation more than their lives. They don't want to disgrace themselves with the new owner. Therefore, Ali is very dissatisfied with them. Hearing that they will ship the stone back to the old masters to cut it, Ali's hesitation disappears. Cut it. Now. Since his master insists on cutting the stone now, the Burmese man has no choice but to wave his skinny arm and instruct his men to cut the stone from the outside. Wang Miao-yi approaches Lin Luoran and chuckles, "Luoran, did you discuss this with Mr. Lu on purpose? How dare Wang Miao-yi discuss this with Lu Zheng?" Wang Miao-yi just takes advantage of Lu Zheng's trust so that Wang Miao-yi can bid for the stone on behalf of the Lu family. Hearing Wang Miao-yi's question, Lin Luoran has to change the topic. "What do you mean?" "I only know that if I were Miss Ali, I wouldn't cut the stone in front of so many people." Wang Miao-yi pats Lin Luoran's shoulder. Ali is a typical rich woman. 150 million yuan is nothing to her. Cutting the stone is like playing a game to her. Wang Miao-yi is obviously being sarcastic. Lin Luoran doesn't want Ali to have jade inside the stone either. She asks, "Luoran, what do you think about this stone?" Lin Luoran's eyes become unfocused at this moment. She feels that it is not challenging for a cultivator to argue with a mortal like Ali. After a while, Lin Luoran hears Wang Miao-yi's question. Looking at the roaring machines, Lin Luoran and the others are curious about the result of the stone cutting. Lin Luoran whispers two words that only she can hear, which decides the result of Ali's stone cutting. Chapter 52. For example, when you are a teenager, you are going to confess your love to the school hunk that you have a crush on for a long time. However, not only is he not accepted, but he is also humiliated by the school hunk in public. That is a shame. For example, the vixen who stole your boyfriend is prettier and richer than you. You don't know what you are capable of and you still pester her. Of course, compared with the former, the more shameful thing is that the old woman who stole your boyfriend suddenly appears in front of you with a new face. She is prettier and more capable than you. She can suppress you in the field that you are good at. When you see the regret in your boyfriend's eyes, you feel that if you nod, he will shamelessly run back to you. This is the situation that Ellie is in now. Lin Luoran used to be a poor working girl, but now she has the support of the young master of Lu's company. What's more, Master Mu is willing to lend her 100 million yuan. Both of them are better looking than Lianping. They are born into a better family and have a better future than Lianping. Ellie doesn't love Lianping very much, but now she hates him more. This is why women are weird. She doesn't think about what she has done. Instead, she blames Lin Luoran for everything. She wants to surpass Lin Luoran, so she has to buy the raw stone. Listening to the hissing sound of the cutting machine and watching the stone dust flying everywhere, Ali was no longer in the mood to complain about the flying dust at the stone cutting site. Her palms were already sweaty, and she felt that she had never been so nervous since she was a child. In the buzzing sound of the cutting machine, Lu Zheng raises his voice and asks Lin Luoran, "What's wrong? Don't you want to pick some yourself?" Lin Luoran shakes her head. "When this big stone is cut, all the raw stones will be auctioned off. The Burmese people won't ship those stones back, will they? We can buy some stones at a discount." It's not that Lin Luoran doesn't want to buy raw stones at the real price. If she is not lucky enough, the leftover raw stones won't be any better. The problem is that she is short of money after buying the house. 2 million yuan is not enough for the stone gambling market. Mu Tiannan, who has been eavesdropping on them, sweats. Who said that? She was indeed a little girl who loved to take advantage of others. Mu Tiannan snorts and defines Lin Luoran in his mind. Lin Luoran has no idea what he is thinking. She keeps talking to Lu Zheng, which makes Mu Tiannan even angrier. A woman dressed in dye clothes was holding a child in her arms, watching the bustle and shouting. It used to be a famous gemstone producing area, which was different from jadeite. The child had never seen stone cutting before, so he asked his mother curiously. Stone cutting is to cut open the stone and take out the jade inside. Do you understand? The child looked up. Is there jade in every stone? Is there one in the big rock in our backyard? Looking at the starry eyes of her child, the dye woman could only whisper to him that there was no jade in the big stones in their courtyard. She hurriedly covered his mouth and retreated to the back of the crowd. He could vaguely hear the child asking, "What about this piece? Do you have this?" Everyone knew the reason why the dye mothers couldn't answer the children directly, so they waited for the raw stone to be cut. 8 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches, boom, boom. There were 2 bangs. Everyone was prepared and they hurriedly stepped back. The huge raw stone was finally cut into 2 pieces and fell to the sides. Li Anping pulls Ali and jumps back. They are almost hit by the falling stones. The Burmese man frowned and ordered his men to bring 2 large basins of water. Each of them poured 1 basin of water on the cut surface of the raw stone. When the water ran out, the cut surface was smooth and shiny. It was actually a field of white, without a trace of green. Ah! Someone couldn't help exclaiming. He couldn't believe that the raw stone, which was favored by many buyers, fought for by several big companies and finally sold at a sky-high price of 155 million yuan, turned out to be white after the cut surface was cut. The Burmese man couldn't accept the fact that he had already sold the raw stone. All the people present, both experts and laymen, felt sorry for the loss, not to mention the current owner of the raw stone, Ellie. Looking at the 2 cut surfaces of white mixed with black cotton, Ellie staggered. She wanted to grab Li Anping, but the latter's legs were even weaker than hers. He had fanned the flames and made Ellie believe that there would be green in the raw stone. Even 10 Li Anpings couldn't afford the 150 million yuan they spent. Cut. Let's see what we can see this way. 150 million yuan, not 150 yuan. Even Ellie, a rich girl who grew up in a jade family, couldn't accept it calmly. She took off her sunglasses, revealing the dark circles under her eyes that even heavy makeup couldn't hide. Her curly hair, which used to be very charming, was now messed up by the wind. She looked indescribably haggard. The Burmese man looked at the cut surface and said awkwardly, "Mississippi Ellie, I can't find any green in the raw stone. How can I cut it?" Ellie sneered, "You can sell the raw stone, but you can't cut it. Just do it yourself." Ellie's cold and arrogant attitude made everyone present shake their heads. There was a winner and a loser in stone gambling, so Ellie had to be cautious. She should have expected this result when she doubled the amount of 155 million yuan. It is not the final moment yet, but she already has such an attitude. Judging from her behavior, Ellie of the fortune house can be seen. The Burmese man sneered in his heart. He doesn't bother to check the green vein for Ellie anymore. Just like what he did at the beginning, the Burmese man puts the 2 cut surfaces under the cutting machine and cuts the raw stone into 4 pieces as easily as cutting a watermelon. White background, unchanging black cotton. This kind of rubbish had shocked everyone present, and no one made a sound for a long time. Lu Zheng's uncle looks at Lin Luoran suspiciously. Earlier, the girl named Xian Lin said, "Let's have a look first." Now that he thinks about it, he realizes that she is just watching the fun. Does she know that there is no green in this raw stone? Lu Zheng's uncle is old and tired. He rubs his temples to get rid of this weird idea. The setting sun in Rueli casts a layer of golden light on the black and white stone, which looks like the golden necklace on Fatty Chui's neck. Fatty Chui and Wang Miao Yi look at each other and they both see relief in each other's eyes. At first, they planned to buy the raw stone together. Now it seems that God is merciful that they didn't follow that bad idea. Ellie says in a hoarse voice, "Go on. Cut until you can't cut anymore." The Burmese man has rarely seen such a weird thing. A 3-meter-high raw stone that requires 2 people to hold hands still has no green in it after being cut into 4 pieces. Even if there is a white ground and a green soil, there should be a piece in it. People who don't know might think it is a big stone from the roadside. It is not a raw stone from an old pit. The Burmese man takes it seriously. He cuts all 4 raw stones until there is no place to cut. Finally, he stops. Looking at the scattered stones on the ground, there is an awkward silence at this moment. It is so quiet. Ellie stares at the stones on the ground. Her neck is sore, but she still can't find any green. She raises her head mechanically and stares at Lin Luoran. She murmurs, "Lin Luoran, you bitch. How dare you trick me?" Lin Luoran is calm like an iceberg. She raises her hand and drops it. Pa! A bright red palm print is left on Ellie's face. No one can imagine that a daughter from a rich family would call someone bitch because she can't afford to lose. Nobody can imagine that Lin Luoran, who looks gentle and elegant, would slap someone in the face. Ellie covers her face and can't believe it. She comes to herself and wants to beat Lin Luoran. Of course, her buyers also come to help. Everyone here can't bear to see so many people bullying Lin Luoran. Fatty Chui moves his body and rushes to help. Together with Wang Miao Yi, they are almost as powerful as ghosts of dark wind. Ellie's purchasing group is knocked over. Mu Tiannan slides out like a bird. Lu Zheng, who is gentle, is also fast, but they are not as fast as Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran grabs Ellie's wrist easily and pulls her out. Ellie is thrown to the ground. She raises her head reluctantly and looks into Lin Luoran's bright eyes. "Miss Ellie, don't embarrass Fortune House anymore. Can't you admit your defeat?" Lin Luoran bends down to look at Ellie. The woman on the ground is covered with dust. She is not as arrogant as she was when she sat in the red TT. "If you can do it, why can't I do it all the same?" Lin Luoran claps her hands. She doesn't regret what she did in public. Cultivation, cultivation, cultivation. If one could vent the anger in one's heart, then it wouldn't go against one's conscience, right? Chapter 53. Between Rueli and Myanmar, there is a good mineral belt that produces rubies and emeralds. It is on the Nangu River. In the past century, dozens of gemstone shops have been set up here. Because the gemstones are scattered, the mining fee is very high and the mining value is low. Now they have all given up. However, there are still gemstones here. Therefore, the clever people of Rueli come up with a good idea, to turn the mine into a playground. As long as you pay a certain fee, you can get a full set of tools and go to the Nangu River on the mineral belt. Within 2 hours, all the rubies and sapphires are yours. On the bank of the Nangu River, a Rueli treasure shop has been set up. You can not only find gemstones, but also process and appraise them. All the jades sold here are authentic. Lu Zheng tells Lin Luoran the rules here and pays the fee. For 50 yuan, each person can buy a full set of tools in the treasure shop. They can use the tools for 2 hours and take away all the gemstones they find within 2 hours. In such a playful place with beautiful gems, Lin Luoran feels a little embarrassed when she sees couples holding hands and looking for treasures. Why did Lu Zheng choose such a place? It is good, but it is too easy for people to misunderstand. Let's go. We only have 2 hours. We must hurry. Lu Zheng is holding a small basket for sifting sand and smiling at Lin Luoran. He seems to be much younger, no longer the strict and gentle young master of Lu's family. Lin Luoran smiles and lets go of her restraint. She enters the field with Lu Zheng. It is the 3rd day after the stone cutting. The crowd has already left as fast as they came. Lu Zheng's uncle has already returned with the raw gemstones. He also takes away 5 raw gemstones that Lin Luoran bought from the Burmese man at the cost of 1 million yuan. Lu Zheng brought her here to fulfill the promise he had made that day. After everything was over, he would take her to have a good look around. How do I use these? Gemstones are totally different from emeralds. Lin Luoran's ability of exploring jade with Reiki is completely useless here. Looking at the pile of tools, she doesn't know what to do for the first time. It seems that this is not the first time for Lu Zheng to come here. He takes off his shoes on the bank and rolls up his trousers. Standing in a pile of soft sand, he smiles. The stones on the bank are all gone. We have to walk a few more steps to find gemstones. Lin Luoran takes off her boots and rolls up her trousers to her knees. Then she goes into the water lightly. It's so cold. Lin Luoran exclaims. She doesn't expect that the water in Rueli is so cold, but the water in the river is so cold. Lu Zheng turns his face to the other side, restraining himself from looking at Lin Luoran's smooth and white legs. He explains, beautiful gems can be found in such a cold river. It's a wonder of nature. Lin Luoran steps on the fine sand. The warm sun of Rueli shines on her body and her feet are soaked in the cold water. She holds a sieve in her hands and digs the sand under her feet like Lu Zheng does. They dig in the shallows for a while but find nothing. Lin Luoran smiles and says, "Are we out of luck today?" Lin Luoran is about to pour out the sand she just digs. Lu Zheng grabs her wrist and says, "Don't move." A long and powerful male hand suddenly grabs her wrist. Feeling the hot male breath, Lin Luoran's movement is stiff for no reason. A trace of blush creeps up to the back of her ears. Lu Zheng grabbed her hand, but he only picked out a rectangular, black stone from the sand in the sieve. It was not much bigger than a fingernail, and it was black. Who said I don't have luck? Isn't this a sapphire? Lin Luoran looks at the black irregular stone in Lu Zheng's hand and compares it with the gemstones in Treasure House, which are polished into many edges and shining under the light. Lin Luoran finds it hard to connect the two. Is this a sapphire? Lu Zheng looks at Lin Luoran, who is so calm. He laughs and says, just like the emeralds are wrapped in raw stones, the gemstones are like this before they are polished. He puts the stone in Lin Luoran's hand and says, "You found it. Take care of it." Lin Luoran holds the gemstone. It seems to have Lu Zheng's breath, which makes her a little embarrassed. Then they realize that Lu Zheng has not let go of her wrist. "Hee, you can't run away." A pair of teenagers run past them. They look like a couple. The girl splashes the boy with water. The boy laughs and runs past Lin Luoran. The cold water splashes on her face. Lin Luoran dodges subconsciously, but she slips. Ah! The stone in her hand loosens and is about to slip out. Subconsciously, Lin Luoran doesn't want to lose it. Subconsciously, Lin Luoran reaches out to get it back. She doesn't know why. Watch out! Lu Zheng thinks that Lin Luoran is unsteady, so he hurries to pull her back. However, Lin Luoran is trying to catch the stone. Lu Zheng pulls her back and she really loses her balance. Plop, both of them fall into the water. Lu Zheng is almost under Lin Luoran's body, taking most of the impact. Even his gold-rimmed glasses are gone. Lin Luoran wipes the water off her face. She finds that their posture is really unsightly. She hurries to stand up. Lu Zheng doesn't notice it. He asks nervously, "Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself?" Without glasses, Lu Zheng's eyes are as gentle as unpolished jade. Lin Luoran is stunned for a moment. She doesn't realize what happened until Lu Zheng keeps asking. "I'm fine. I'm fine. Where are your glasses?" Lu Zheng realizes that Lin Luoran's face is blurred. They fumble in the water for a while and finally find Lu Zheng's glasses. Fortunately, they are not broken. Only then did the young couple come to apologize shyly. After being forgiven, the two of them held hands and ran away. Although there is still time, Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng's clothes are wet. The river is cold. They can't hunt for treasures anymore. They have to go ashore in advance. After they change their clothes, Lu Zheng takes Lin Luoran to a gem processing workshop near the Taba field. The master smiles and congratulates, "The quality of this gemstone is good in the Taba field. Young people are so lucky. I can make a ring for this lady as a souvenir. What do you think?" Lu Zheng thinks this is a good idea. He turns to Lin Luoran and asks for her opinion with his eyes. "Ring, souvenir." Lin Luoran's heart is moved, but then she calms down. No matter how good the man in front of her is, he is still Baojia's friend. She'd better stay away from him. "I'd better make a pendant." Lin Luoran's cold voice extinguishes the tenderness in Lu Zheng's eyes. Ah Bao is speechless when he sees someone saying that he plagiarized Golden Lotus. Anyway, he knows Wan Qing, although Wan Qing doesn't know him, haha. The online literature circle is so small. Ah Bao has to continue writing. Plagiarism is not a good reputation, this is modern cultivation. Stone gambling is just a prelude to the story. Please don't put a big hat on me. Thank you. Chapter 54. Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng are no longer in the mood to go to other places. They take the plane back to our city the next day. The airport is 1 hour away from our city. Lin Luoran is too embarrassed to take Lu Zheng's car back with her suitcase, let alone take a taxi. Luckily, Wang Miao Yi is free that day and asks to pick Lin Luoran up. Lin Luoran is relieved and says goodbye to Lu Zheng at the airport. Lin Luoran is a purchaser, so she has a flexible job. She has just made a fortune for Lu's company. Lin Luoran can rest for a long time before the next big purchase. Before Lin Luoran goes to Rueli, Baojia leaves for the capital. She doesn't explain the reason clearly. It seems that even Lu Zheng doesn't know what she is going to do. Baojia hasn't come back yet. Lin Luoran calls her, but Baojia is in a hurry every time. It seems that something happened in the capital, which makes Lin Luoran worried. How is it? Wang Miao Yi blinks at Lin Luoran while driving. Lin Luoran is confused. She doesn't know what Wang Miao Yi wants to ask. Wang Miao Yi coughs, "You and Mr. Lu, Sister Wang, what are you thinking about? Mr. Lu has a fiancé. Don't make such a joke next time." Lin Luoran is speechless. Mrs. Lin asked her the same question at the housewarming party. Why does everyone like to pair Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng? Wang Miao Yi stops talking and can't help murmuring, "As long as you are good at it, there is nothing you can't do." Lin Luoran finally decides to ignore Wang Miao Yi and look at the green belt. Wang Miao Yi has to change the topic. "Luoran, didn't you say you were going to give me a surprise last time? It's been a long time. Why is it so quiet?" Lin Luoran almost forgot about it if Wang Miao Yi didn't mention it. Wang Miao Yi's question makes Lin Luoran forget the embarrassment. Lin Luoran promises Wang Miao Yi that the gift will be delivered soon. Lin Luoran can't help saying, "How can you ask for a gift?" Wang Miao Yi turns the steering wheel and laughs, "Am I an ordinary person?" Lin Luoran smiles, which lessens her worries about Baojia's trip to the capital and her feelings about Lu Zheng. Although she has been away from home for less than a week, Lin still misses her family. She wonders if Luodong is getting along with her parents and if they can still meditate. She wonders if Luodong's parents are doing well. When they get home, Wang Miao-yi opens the door and parks the car in the garage. Lin sees a black sports car with an exaggerated shape in the garage. That was strange. Her family had never had any rich relatives. Besides, they had just moved to this place. Who was here? Dad, Mom, Luodong, are you there? Lin Luoran shouts into the house. Luodong runs out from the backyard with mud on his face. He is so happy to see Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran hands him the gift she bought from Rueli and touches his head. Did Mr. Lin and the others go out? Luodong nods. I'm going to buy groceries. Are they going to buy groceries? Lin Luoran feels even more strange. They have been eating vegetables grown in her space and rarely eat meat. Baojia is in the capital, Sister Wang is by her side, and even Fatty Chui loves the special vegetables of Lin's family. Lin Luoran feels uneasy when she thinks of the black sports car in the garage. Who is here? Squeak, the red door is pushed open. Mrs. and Mr. Lin come in together. There is nothing in their hands. There is no food. Luoran, you're finally back. Mrs. Lin's eyes light up when she sees her daughter standing in the yard. She greets Wang Miao-yi and holds Lin Luoran's hand. Your friend came yesterday. He said he wanted to talk to you about something important. Friend? Lin Luoran wonders which friend has been waiting for her at home for a whole day. She is about to ask her mother when a man walks in. The man is over 1.8 meters tall, handsome and well-dressed. However, the big bags of vegetables in his hands ruin his image. The beef in the bag is still dripping with water. Foppish Mu, why are you here? Lin Luoran is so surprised that she can't help pointing at Mu Tianan, who is dressed like a househusband. Why does this foppish man come to her house? Luoran, you're finally back. Mu Tianan grins, showing his white teeth. In Lin Luoran's eyes, his white teeth look scary. Mom, how can you just let him into the house? Don't you care if he has ulterior motives? Lin Luoran puts her hand on her forehead. Her parents are so careless and honest. How can she rest assured? Mrs. Lin says, Mu is so decent and he won't covet our things. Isn't he your friend? He is sweet and diligent. Don't gossip about him. Mrs. Lin doesn't say one more thing. The most important thing is that she has asked Mu Tianan about her. Mu Tianan is single and has a good impression. It's really hard to find a good man. Lin Luoran can't understand her parents' worry that she has become a leftover woman. She has to bear the fact that Mu Tianan is staying at her house. Anyway, she is back now. After dinner, she will kick Mu Tianan out. Because of Mu Tiannan's presence, Wang Miao-yi doesn't like him. She doesn't even stay for dinner and goes home. However, Mu Tianan is shameless. He can't see Lin Luoran's dark face. At the dinner table, he keeps praising Mrs. Lin's cooking skills, Mr. Lin's food selection and Luodong's clay figurines. He really treats sweet words as free cabbages. All in all, after dinner, Lin Luoran watches Mu Tianan and Mr. and Mrs. Lin talking happily with each other. Mu Tianan and Mr. and Mrs. Lin talk about trivial things in the village with great interest. Mu Tianan and Mr. and Mrs. Lin are not like the arrogant foppish Mu at all. Seeing the smiles on her parents' faces and Luodong's sparkling eyes, Lin Luoran wants to drive them away several times. However, she swallows her words back. It's almost 10 o'clock. Luodong can't help yawning. When his head is nodding, Mrs. Lin suddenly realizes, look, I'm too talkative. It's hard for you to listen to me for such a long time. It's late now. Why don't you stay here? I'm so sorry that you don't have time to talk with Luoran. Of course, Mu Tianan doesn't say no. Mrs. Lin looks at him expectantly. Lin Luoran has to nod her head stiffly to show her agreement. When they pass by each other, Lin Luoran asks in a low voice, "What are you doing here? Who is your friend?" Mu Tiannan rubs his sore face and puts his head close to Lin Luoran's. He answers in a low voice, "You know what I'm here for." Mrs. Lin and Mr. Lin winks at each other. Mr. Lin takes the sleepy Luodong and leaves with Mrs. Lin. Only Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan are left in the living room. Looking at Mrs. Lin's sneaky face, Lin knows that she must have misunderstood. Looking at Mu Tiannan's annoying smile, Lin Luoran has a headache. Chapter 55. Lin Luoran usually spends most of her time cultivating in the space at night. Now that there is an outsider in the house, Lin Luoran spreads a mat in the room and tries to meditate in the room. During her trip to Rueli, Lin Luoran has humiliated the arrogant Ellie a little, and the raw stones she has picked up are not the most important. What makes Lin Luoran most happy is that she has cleared away all the agitated Reiki in the raw stones sold by the Burmese man. What she has gained is more than working for Luz for a month. Lin Luoran only uses her spiritual mind to explore the bead. She can feel the thread-like Reiki flowing in the medicine field. The Reiki of various plants are mingling with each other, which makes Lin Luoran want to jump into the space. However, thinking of Mu Tiannan who is sleeping in the front yard, Lin Luoran feels that it is too risky. Lin Luoran comes back to herself. She holds back her desire to cultivate in the space and decides to meditate. Thinking about the breathing method taught by Master Jia, Lin Luoran enters the state of inner vision again. The Reiki absorbed from the bead not only fills up Lin Luoran's meridians, but also flows out from time to nourish her bones and muscles. Lin Luoran calms down and concentrates. The Reiki moves slowly under her effort. The Reiki flows through her meridians in a jerky way. Lin Luoran feels that she has gained a lot this time. She watches a lot of Reiki in her body. Lin Luoran decides to try her best tonight to see if she can loosen the bottleneck she has been stuck in for a long time. Lin Luoran doesn't worry about the lack of Reiki. The bead has been sending Reiki into her body. Compared with her current level, she has more Reiki in her body. However, she can't direct the Reiki, so she can only stare at the treasures in her meridians. Lin Luoran looks at the Reiki in her meridians. The Reiki is like knotty threads running around and tangling with each other. If she directs the Reiki to move by force, the Reiki will only get more tangled. What? What if he straightened out the messy wires before running it? Lin Luoran is enlightened. She feels that she has found the right way this time. She starts to sort out the Reiki patiently. The Reiki are tangled together. Lin Luoran finds the ends of two tiny strands of Reiki. She first twists them into a slightly larger strand of Reiki. Then she looks for the third strand and the fourth strand. She keeps merging the larger Reiki with the smaller ones. After a long time, she finally twists all the messy Reiki into one strand. Looking at the rope of Reiki, which has been twisted by herself and is ready to rebel at any time, Lin Luoran really wants to laugh out loud regardless of her image. Regardless of the resistance of the Reiki, Lin Luoran keeps mixing them like little Luodong is making clay figurines. Gradually, she breaks the gap between the Reiki and kneads them together. After all the hard work, Lin Luoran finally has the absolute right to direct the Reiki. She has no time to be happy. She carefully lets the Reiki flow along her meridians. Her marrow and meridians have been cleansed by the flame fruit. The blockage in her meridians is not a threat to her at all. Lin Luoran's difficulty in cultivation is not that she doesn't have a good teacher to guide her. She doesn't have any spells to practice and no peers to refer to. She has to explore everything on her own and she doesn't know what is right. The path of cultivation is difficult. However, Lin Luoran is willing to spend 100 times more time trying. She doesn't want to go back to being an ordinary person in that world. Her path will be further and the world will be wider and wider, right? Boom. Lin Luoran feels like a firework is blooming in front of her. Just like last time when she was suddenly able to look inside, the Reiki under Lin Luoran's command finally runs a complete circle along her meridians. Lin Luoran exhales a mouthful of turbid air. She feels very comfortable. She feels that every pore on her body is opened and greedily absorbing the Reiki from the bead on her wrist. Lin Luoran calms down and continues to twist the army of Reiki into a ball. She continues the circle of Reiki along the path she just walked. The temperature is low in winter and the air is dry. However, the embroidery building where Lin Luoran lives is warm and moist because of her cultivation. In such a quiet night, everyone in the Lin's house except for Lin Luoran has already fallen asleep. However, at this moment, the copper bell on the eaves of the embroidery building rings without any wind. It is very light, as if it is air-dried. However, Lin Luoran suddenly opens her eyes. A man in black quietly jumps down from the window. He is 2 floors high. Because he falls on the muddy ground in the backyard, his footsteps are silent. He is as light as a cat. After a few leaps, he arrives at the embroidery building where Lin Luoran lives. Looking at the exquisite embroidery building, the man in black smiles frivolously. This woman still lives in the embroidery building. Does she really think that she is a lady from a big family? The man in black is a little sarcastic. He doesn't want to admit that the woman living in this building is more elegant than all the ladies from a big family he has seen. The black-clothed man looked around. The exquisite wooden railings of the embroidery building provided him with convenience. He used his inner strength and leaped into the air with a tap on the ground. He used both hands to climb onto the railings. He doesn't rush in. Instead, he looks into the room through the half-closed window. The moon is nice tonight. The man in black thinks that he can see a beauty sleeping. However, the mosquito net on the embroidery bed is fluttering and the owner of the bed is nowhere to be seen. At this time, Lin Luoran is meditating. In fact, she is in the room. The moonlight is dim. A living person is sitting in the room, but the man in black can't see it. In fact, Lin Luoran is running her circulatory circle. She is relaxed physically and mentally. She is almost integrated with the surrounding environment, creating the illusion that there is no one in the room. The man in black is bold. Seeing that there is no one in the room, he wants to enter the room to explore. He turns over and jumps over the railings. After all, the embroidery building is old. The wood is a little loose. When it shakes, the bell in the corner rings. The man in black knows that something is wrong. He lurks under the window for a while. Seeing nothing unusual, he is ready to turn over and go in. However, he doesn't know that at the moment when the bell rings, Lin Luoran, who is meditating, suddenly opens her eyes. Her dark eyes are shining like stars in the dim moonlight. Lin Luoran is out of the meditating environment. She doesn't deliberately hide her breath. The man in black immediately notices the breath of a master in the room. He is shocked and strikes at Lin Luoran with his palm. Lin Luoran's first reaction is to avoid it. With her current speed, it is easy to avoid it. However, she suddenly feels a little angry. She can't avoid it every time. Besides, this man is too bold. How dare he come to her place like this? If he is an ordinary woman and he is a rapist, she will be defenseless. Lin Luoran thinks of the Reiki around her. She boldly waves her palm to meet the man's palm. The Tai Chi taught by Master Jia is quite interesting after practicing it several times. This is a master. Looking at the hand that was raised lightly, the man in black was alerted, but he couldn't avoid this seemingly slow, but in fact, he couldn't avoid this palm attack. Bang! The 2 palms collide. The man in black groans and steps back. He can't stand still. Chapter 56. Mrs. Lin doesn't doubt him. Although she is willing to let such a talented young man spend more time with her daughter, she can't stop him from going home, can she? Mrs. Lin always stares at her daughter and sighs after Mu Tiannan leaves. Mu Tiannan drives out of the gate of Lin's house with a cold smile on his face. He frowns and purses his lips tightly, but he still can't help spilling a stream of blood. Holding the steering wheel with one hand, Mu Tiannan wipes the blood with his other hand. He is in a daze for a while and then suddenly smiles. What a cruel woman. However, I just like it. Mu Tiannan looks back at the red lacquered door of Lin's house and smiles mysteriously. However, it affects his internal injuries. He hits the steering wheel in pain and has to start the car. He steps on the gas and drives away. Lin Luoran is so cruel that she doesn't know what is going on in Master Mu's mind. Even if she does, she will still sneer at him. She is not a love-struck fool. Since Master Mu dares to ignore Lin Luoran's reputation, he deserves to be slapped by Master Mu. Thinking of the tricky Reiki in her palm, Lin Luoran can't help but want to laugh. She may be able to survive after being hit by that palm, but she will suffer for a long time. As for whether her real strength will be exposed, Lin Luoran doesn't even think about it. If she is afraid of wolves in front and tigers behind, there will be a lot of pressure and suffering from the outside world in the future. How can she face it? Thinking about what to do, Lin Luoran takes a knife into the space. This time, Lin Luoran has gained a lot in Rueli. Lin Luoran can't absorb all of them, so almost all of them go to the space. With enough Reiki, the herbs in the medicine shop inevitably get some lucky chances. The small green tree by the spring is destined to have no reaction. Since the last time when the black flower bloomed and strengthened Lin Luoran's spiritual mind, it has been growing quietly in the same place. Naturally, there is no change. What changes is that the first outsider of the space, the fleece flower that Lin Luoran picked up from the vegetable market, suddenly blooms. Not only that, but the 7 small ginsengs surrounding the knotweed. Oh, I've already given one to Master Jia, so they're no longer the Calabash brothers. There are only 6 of them left. These 6 little things had verdant leaves, and there were actually long strips growing out from the depths of the leaves. There were small flowers on them. Could they be ginseng flower buds? Counting the time, from the time he planted the ginseng seeds until today, it was only late autumn, and now it was winter. It had been 3 months. Did it mean that it would take 100 years for the ginseng to bear fruit in his space? Although Lin has bought some artificial ginseng seeds that are over 10 years old and put them in her space, the ginseng she bought at the beginning is what she values most. Lin Luoran is happy to think that she may harvest a batch of their seeds. The fleece flower has also bloomed. It seems that it will bear fruit in a few days. Lin was going to pull it out for something else, but now it's not a good time to do it now. Why not wait a few more days? Holding the knife, Lin Luoran can't go back empty-handed. Those ordinary medicinal materials that she has in her space will be in trouble. Well, this Angelica is good, and its quality must be much better than those bought outside. Lin Luoran will take it. As for this Poria Cocos, Lin Luoran remembered that she picked it up in the mountains with her father last time. At that time, she didn't know its name and only felt that it had more Reiki than other plants. Later, she specially looked it up and found many medicinal materials that she didn't know because of the strong Reiki. Even so, there are many medicinal materials that are not recorded in the circulating materials. Lin Luoran finds that they all have good Reiki. She suspects that they are medicinal materials used by people of a higher level, such as cultivators. Of course, these are all Lin Luoran's guesses. She has to find out the truth later. This wolfberry is also growing well. Its branches and leaves are luxuriant, and it almost invades the territory of Acaranthes bidentata. Lin Luoran picks the red wolfberry first. If there is extra, she can make wine for Mr. Lin. It seems that Acaranthes bidentata also needs to be used. Amitba, Acaranthes bidentata can't escape today. After collecting all the medicinal materials she needs in the space, Lin Luoran goes to the pharmacy to buy daughter. Daughter needs to be soaked in wine to sprout, and she doesn't have any in the space. Except for the fleece flower, Lin Luoran collects all the medicinal materials she needs. She starts to process them in the backyard. The processing of traditional Chinese medicine is also very particular. Medicinal materials with different processing effects have different effects. For example, in the prescription Lin Luoran knows, most of the medicinal materials need to be soaked in wine and then taken out to dry in the sun, waiting to be used as medicine. Moreover, the method and time of soaking are different. For example, the shoots of Acaranthes bidentata must be removed and soaked in wine for a day. After that, instead of drying in the sun immediately, it needs to be steamed together with the fleece flower. These trivial steps make Lin Luoran feel helpless, but she has to do it. If one day there is an alchemy furnace like in the cultivation novel, with some alchemy fire, can she put all the medicinal materials into the alchemy furnace and wait for the elixir to come out? Lin Luoran is very doubtful. Even making medicine in the secular world is so troublesome. Then the cultivation novel seems to be bragging. Seeing their daughter busy in the backyard, pouring the wine into the jars and soaking the medicinal materials, Mr. and Mrs. Lin have been observing her for a long time. On the 5th day, Mr. Lin finally can't stand it anymore and sends Mrs. Lin to take the lead. Luoran, are you soaking the medicinal wine for your father to nourish his body? That's too troublesome. Lin Luoran is speechless. It turns out that her parents think she is soaking the medicinal wine. She has no choice but to tell them that she is making pills for Wang Miao Yi. After a long explanation, her parents finally understand. Of course, in the end, she has to give Mr. Lin the wolfberries she collected from the space as the real material for the medicinal wine. It's not that Lin Luoran is not filial. There is ginseng in the space, but Lin Luoran doesn't use it to nourish her parents' body. Mr. and Mrs. Lin are just ordinary people now with many impurities in their bodies. Ginseng is not nourishing for them. Lin Luoran insists that they eat the vegetables in the space because she wants them to expel the impurities and toxins in their bodies in this slow but steady process. On the 10th night, it has just been 100 days. On that night, the flowers on the vines of the fleece flower have withered and there are many small green fruits. Lin Luoran holds back for another 2 days. It seems that the fruits are almost fixed. Then she waters the roots of the fleece flower with spring water and puts the seeds away carefully. A century-old fleece flower grown in the space is not as good as the one she picked up from the market. When she sows it again, the quality of the seeds will be the same as that of the ginseng. By then, the fleece flower can be regarded as one of the 4 immortal medicines, together with ginseng and ganoderma. As for the fleece flower, Lin Luoran takes pity on it. She pulls it up and even makes its vines into nocturnal vine. Chapter 57. To make raw fleece flower, Lin Luoran needs to remove the impurities from the fresh fleece flower, wash it, soak it in water until it is 80% transparent, take it out, moisten it until the moisture inside and outside is even, slice it or cut it into cubes, and finally dry it under the sun. This time, Lin needs to make fleece flower. She washes the fleece flower, mixes it with black bean juice, yellow wine, and milk, and steams it in a crock. She sucks all the yellow wine and black bean juice into the fleece flower, scoops it up, and dries it in the sun. Then the process is finished. Wang Miao Yi hears that the gift Lin Luoran is going to give her is a pill made by herself. Out of curiosity, Wang Miao Yi visits Lin Luoran several times, but she has no idea how to make the fleece flower by steaming and drying. Although Wang Miao Yi doesn't know what kind of pill Lin Luoran is going to make, she is grateful for the troublesome process and hasn't received her gift yet. Coincidentally, the raw gemstones Lin Luoran brought back from Mrs. Lu arrive. Wang Miao Yi buys all the tools for cutting the gemstones and gives them to Lin Luoran as a gift for the pills. Wang Miao-yi has known that there is a basement under the embroidery building since she was a child. It seems that the Jias used to store gold and silver. Later, Mr. Jia changed it into a practice room. As the current owner of the house, Lin Luoran feels ashamed that she doesn't know as much as Wang Miao-yi. She instructs the servants to move the tools into the basement so that she can cut the gemstones and cultivate herself in the basement when it is inconvenient. To steam and dry the fleece flower 9 times, Lin Luoran needs to put black beans in a clay pot and steam them in a wooden steamer, a traditional cooking tool in China. When the black beans are cooked, Lin Luoran takes out the rotten beans and dries the fleece flower. Then she puts fresh beans in the pot and repeats the process. Luckily, the traditional stove in the backyard is still there, or Lin Luoran will have to build another one. After steaming it for the 7th time, he took the deist ox shank that had been soaked in wine and steamed it together with it. After the 9th time of steaming, it was very miraculous that the knotweed didn't need to be crushed to crack. It turned into powder with uniform particles. When all the herbs are ready, Lin Luoran finds a stone mortar and crushes all the herbs into powder. It wasn't that she was being pretentious, but the prescription clearly stated that iron tools should not be used during the concoction. Chinese medicine was truly amazing. Mr. and Mrs. Lin are watching the fun. Lin Luodong stares at Lin Luoran's movements without blinking. When Lin Luoran condenses the powder into a honey pill, Lin Luodong stares at the brown honey pill and swallows. His eyes are shining. Chocolate? The round and fragrant brown honey pill really looks like chocolate beans. With her clear eyes, Lin Luoran can see that the reiki in the honey pill is mixed together and the medicine is stable without conflict. Instead, the honey pill exudes spirituality that can't be found in traditional Chinese medicine. If Lin Luoran doesn't see it clearly, she will suspect that the honey pill she spent so much effort to make is actually chocolate beans. My dear, what kind of pills are these? Are they really edible? Mrs. Lin picks up a pill. Except for the special smell of medicine, she can't see anything special about it. Lin Luoran takes a custom-made porcelain bottle and puts the honey pills into it. This time, she makes 4 small bottles with about 100 pills in each bottle. After putting the honey pills into the bottle, Lin Luoran says to her mother, "Of course they are effective. They are made according to the book in my house. By the way, Dad, where is my medicine book?" Lin Luoran's family is poor, but they have 2 family heirlooms. One is a bracelet, and the other is a tattered medicine book. Only the first half of the book remains and many words are eaten by worms. When Lin Luoran was a child, she learned calligraphy from Uncle Li. She didn't have enough money to buy a copybook, so she opened the medicine book and practiced according to a prescription over and over again. As a result, she can remember every word clearly. This is the prescription of the honey pill she is making today. The name of the honey pill is Skin Beauty Pill. As the name suggests, it is mostly used for women's beauty. Lin Luoran dares to use the precious fleece flower grown in her space to refine this medicine because she firmly believes in the formula in the medicine book, or it should be said that she becomes more convinced after she gets the bead space. After all, the medicine book is passed down by her ancestors. Lin Luoran's medicine book only has the first half, and it is very tattered. However, it has taught Mr. Lin, an honest farmer, how to identify many herbs. When he was sick when he was a child, he also followed the instructions in the book. He dug up some herbs and drank them. Usually, 1 dose of the medicine would be effective, and it was very effective in treating minor illnesses. Now that she thinks about it, maybe it is also a treasure. It is a pity that the second half is missing. Mr. Lin scratches his head and says, "I forgot about it. I came in a hurry that day and left the medicine book at home. I have to go back and get it. It is passed down from my ancestors." Hearing that they have to go back to Li's village, Lin Luoran frowns. She doesn't want her parents to go back alone, so she says with a smile, "You have to take a taxi. It is too tiring. I will drive back and get it." This skin beauty pill is full of reiki and smells good. The water used in the pill is the spring in her space, and most of the herbs are grown in her space. Lin Luoran feels that the effect may be more than what the prescription says. Looking at her parents, who used to have gray hair, but now look younger because of the vegetables in her space and the spring, Lin Luoran gives the 2 bottles of skin beauty pills to her parents. Mrs. Lin is skeptical. She doesn't believe that this pill can make people younger. Mr. Lin is shy and doesn't want to eat this kind of woman's food. Lin Luoran is speechless. Her parents are still old-fashioned. Although she has told them about the space, only she can enter the space and they can't see it in person. Lin Luoran didn't make much progress when she started cultivating, so her parents inevitably cling to their prejudices. They always think that Lin Luoran is still an ordinary girl and they don't understand that Lin Luoran, a rookie cultivator, actually has some tricks. Lin Luoran has no choice. Fortunately, she has been able to direct the reiki in her body. She mobilizes a trace of reiki and condenses it into a thin rope. She forces the rope out of her body and gently picks a leaf off her mother's head. Looking at the leaves moving without wind and circling around them, Mr. and Mrs. Lin finally realize that their daughter has the foundation of a fairy. She can conjure a lot of delicious vegetables out of thin air, change her appearance, refine medicine, and command the leaves to dance. What else can it be if it isn't a fairy's skill? Seeing that her parents finally accept the skin beauty pills, Lin Luoran is relieved. She puts the other 2 bottles into her space. She turns around and sees Luodong staring at her curiously. He seems to be thinking about something. Lin Luoran smiles at Luodong's serious look. Maybe it is interesting for a kid to make something disappear all of a sudden. Luodong is a member of the Lin family. Lin Luoran thinks that she should find some time to teach him how to cultivate. Didn't he give up? In fact, Lin Luoran has been reborn after breaking up with him for more than 3 months. She doesn't care about the past anymore. She finds that Li Anping's appearance is vague when she tries to think about it. Maybe she doesn't care about him anymore. So, when she thinks about his hatred for breaking into her house, she just finds it funny. Leaving this person behind, Lin Luoran smiles and says indifferently, "I just come back to get something. Besides, I have nothing to do with Li Anping. If he dares to do something bad again, I won't spare him. Don't worry about me, second aunt." Auntie Li nods. Hearing that Lin Luoran is going to get something, she is afraid that the Lin family has hidden something valuable. As an outsider, she can't be there to help. Therefore, she asks Lin Luoran to have lunch at her house and goes home to cook. Lin Luoran can't refuse. She has a good relationship with Auntie Li, so she agrees. Seeing Auntie Li's back disappearing outside the fence, Lin Luoran enters the house with the help of the door frame. In less than a month, the old furniture in the house is covered with dust. Lin Luoran opens a red leather box with peeling paint in her parents' house and finds a small bag wrapped in a piece of cloth at the bottom of the box. She opens it and sees a blue cover. The thread-bound book is nailed with cotton thread. The pages are yellowed and there are some wormholes. It is the medicine book of the Lin family. Lin Luoran smiles. She is really afraid that this inconspicuous good thing is lost. It's good that it is still there. With a thought, she puts the medicine book into the space. There is no safer place in this world than Lin Luoran's space. While Lin Luoran is looking for the medicine book, Li Anping's house at the end of the village has been turned upside down. When Lin Luoran drives to the entrance of the village, she is seen by Sister Li, who has nothing to do all day. Sister Li is famous for her big mouth. Naturally, she quickly runs to Li Anping's house to report. She just likes to be lively, which has nothing to do with enthusiasm. Li Anping, who has recently been lovelorn and unemployed, has tasted the hardships of the world for the first time. He is at the time of decadence. When he hears that Lin Luoran, who used to be obedient to him and now has a high net worth, finally comes back, he jumps up and wants to rush to the door. His skinny mother's hands were like iron pincers, tightly hugging him from behind. "Anping, don't faint ah, that little bitch from the Lin family last time threatened to break your mother's leg ah, such a vicious woman, how can she still be the daughter-in-law of the Li family ah?" Sister Li is staying at Li Anping's house to watch the fun. Hearing the shameless words of Mrs. Li, she also smacks her mouth twice. How shameless! She said that she doesn't want Lin Luoran to be the daughter-in-law of the Li family. Now it is the girl of the Lin family who doesn't want her son, right? Thinking of the beautiful face of the girl of the Lin family flashing through the window, and then looking at Li Anping's unkempt appearance, in Sister Li's sharp eyes, the two of them were not a good match. Li Anping listens to his mother's words. At lunchtime, he sneaks to Lin's house. However, he finds a BMW parked in the yard. It is new and dazzling. Thinking of the trap that Lin Luoran set for Ellie in Rueli and what Lin Luoran did last time when she came home from his mother, Li Anping, who was originally full of confidence, suddenly hesitates. He is hiding in the dark and thinking. However, he sees Lin Luoran hurriedly coming out of Aunt Li's house and getting on the BMW in a flash. Obviously, she passes by him, but she pretends not to know him. Li Anping's face is red, and he secretly scolds, "Little bitch." He hates Lin Luoran to death, but he doesn't dare to move his body. He just watches Lin Luoran driving out of Li's village. Chapter 59. Her entire body was trembling. At this moment, she had already forgotten that she was a cultivator. Her instinctive feeling of helplessness was like the seaweed in the deep sea, tightly entangling her. The more she struggled, the tighter the entanglement became. She almost couldn't breathe. She is having lunch at Auntie Li's house. Auntie Li's son, who is in junior high school, is also at home. The four of them are talking and laughing in a harmonious atmosphere. Lin is thinking whether she should go to the cliff after lunch to get the strange bluestone that grows with the black epiphyllum. However, in the middle of lunch, she receives a call from Baojia in the capital. Baojia's voice is full of tiredness. Lin Luoran is suspicious. When she is about to ask Baojia, she hears the loud sound of the emergency brake coming from the other end of the phone. Then there was a bang. It seems that the car has hit something. The phone is thrown away and Lin Luoran can't hear Baojia's voice anymore. It must be Baojia who was hit, it must be. Lin Luoran can almost judge by instinct. Moreover, before the car hit, she clearly heard Baojia whispering, "Help me, Lin Luoran is driving." She can't help but tremble. Baojia is so arrogant. She asks Lin Luoran to save her on the phone. She must have more than a car accident. Something serious must have happened that Lin Luoran doesn't know. It may even threaten Baojia's life. Lin Luoran tries her best to hold the steering wheel. When the car arrives at the county, the phone rings. It's Lu Zheng. Lin Luoran's heart almost misses a beat. She presses the answer button several times before she hears Lu Zheng's voice. "Luoran, Baojia had a car accident. There is a car accident." Sure enough, Baojia has an accident. Lin Luoran's eyes are misty. She holds back her sadness. Her voice is so low that it seems to come from the hell. "Lu Zheng, arrange the fastest flight for me. I want to go to the capital. I'll be grateful to you for the rest of my life." Lu Zheng was silent for a few seconds before he finally said, "Okay." Lin Luoran hangs up the phone. She sniffs and blinks away the tears in her eyes. She can't be knocked down now. She needs to calm down. Baojia is still waiting for her to save her. About 5 minutes later, Lu Zheng called again. "Go directly to the airport. It's already been arranged." "Thank you." Lin Luoran hangs up the phone and steps on the accelerator. She drives the BMW through the traffic, speeding, running red lights, and breaking all the traffic rules. However, she doesn't care about that now. Her only hope is to get to Baojia's side as soon as possible. If Lin Luoran's friendship with Wang Miao is mutual understanding, then Baojia is like Lin Luoran's sister. Baojia, wait for me. Lin Luoran runs all the way from her hometown to the airport in less than an hour. Lu Zheng has arranged not only the flight, but also himself. He is waiting for Lin at the airport. He is Baojia's fiancé. If he doesn't go to the capital now, Lin Luoran will beat him. Therefore, she is not surprised to see him. Neither of them was in the mood to catch up. They went straight to the plane arranged by Lu Zheng. It turned out to be a helicopter. They didn't know where Lu Zheng found it, but it was waiting for them at the airport. Before boarding the plane, Lin Luoran calls home. She is afraid that her parents will be worried, so she doesn't tell them the truth. She only tells them that Baojia's family is in an emergency and she has to go to the capital to help. After hanging up the phone, Lin Luoran remembers that she is not at home and she doesn't know what will happen to her in the capital. Lin Luoran thinks that she has made a big enemy of Ellie. They are both in our city. Lin Luoran is afraid that Ellie will make trouble while she is away. She can't help but look at Lu Zheng hesitantly. If something happens to me, can you take care of my parents for me? The rotor of the helicopter rotates rapidly, creating a strong wind. Lin Luoran's voice is a bit broken. Lu Zheng jumps on the helicopter first and reaches out his hand to hold Lin Luoran's hand. What are you talking about? What will happen to you? Lin Luoran raises her hand and looks at him. Her eyes are as cold as the frozen lake in this season. Lu Zheng's face is reflected in her calm pupils. I don't believe that you don't know anything. If something happens to Baojia, I can't guarantee what I will do. So, please take care of my parents, okay? As the helicopter rotates, Lin Luoran's hair is flying in the air, covering most of her face. Only her eyes are calm and not like an ordinary woman. Lu Zheng solemnly agrees. Lin Luoran smiles. Her sudden smile in the cold winter dazzles the nearby staff. She looks like a peerless beauty. However, she doesn't hold Lu Zheng's hand. Instead, she jumps onto the helicopter like a light swallow. Lu Zheng's hand stops in the air. Suddenly, he feels a little pain in his heart. Lin Luoran doesn't even want to touch his hand. She must have some resentment in her heart, resentment that he can't protect Baojia. The helicopter rises to the blue sky. Lin Luoran's side face is frighteningly cold. Lu Zheng wants to say something several times, but he doesn't know how to say it in the face of her sudden indifference. In the end, he can only look out of the window. Looking down from here, the basin is shrouded in clouds all year round over S province. Surrounded by mountains, it is like a fairy mountain. It is always misty, but it is always hard to see a real sunny day, just like his relationship with Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran sits in the seat and has to force herself to run Reiki over and over again to gradually calm down her anxious mood. Maybe it is the power of Lu Zheng's family or Baojia's grandpa, but the helicopter directly lands on the rooftop of a building of the General Military Hospital in the capital. Several corps subordinates of Lu's family surround her, as well as a military officer in a military uniform. Lin Luoran guesses that they are Baojia's grandpa's people. She doesn't care about her image and asks the soldier, what happened to Baojia? The military officer salutes Lin Luoran, but he looks embarrassed. Finally, he leads Lin Luoran to the operating room where the red light is on. Commander Qin is sitting on a bench outside the operating room, smoking. He only nods when he sees Lin Luoran and Lu Zheng. The person lying in the operating room is his only daughter, who passed away early. The old general who used to be ruddy looks 10 years older all of a sudden. Commander Qin doesn't even break his principle to help Lin Luoran with adoption, but he agrees to let the helicopter land on the rooftop of the hospital. Lin Luoran's heart has been cold since she got off the helicopter. Looking at Commander Qin's face, Lin Luoran can't hold back her tears. Grandpa Qin, Baojia. How is Baojia? Commander Qin, an old general who has been through a storm of bullets, stares at the operating room with sorrow in his eyes. His voice is so hoarse that it sounds like silk that has been cut by a blade. What do you think? She has been in the operation. Thank you for coming. The doctor said that the situation is not optimistic. The soldier who leads them here punches the white wall of the hospital. His eyes are as red as a beast's. Commander, I'm going to kill him to avenge Our Lady. However, he is held tightly by other soldiers and pressed against the wall, unable to move. Don't be impulsive. You will hurt Our Lady and the commander. It has been several hours since the accident, and she is still in the operation. The situation is not optimistic. Does it mean that the doctor has issued a notice of critical illness? What about thank you for coming? Is it? What she has been worrying about is confirmed. Lin Luoran staggers and feels that all her strength is drained away. She is introverted and has always been difficult to get along with. She doesn't have many friends. Except for her parents, the one who treats her the best in her life is not her ex-boyfriend Lianping, but Qin Baojia, who always says that she will protect her. Chapter 60. Lin Luoran looks up and sees a lady in her 40s. She is wearing a red suit and looks very noble. She is like the moon surrounded by stars. Baojia's life is hanging in the air and everyone is worried. The lady is escorted by a group of bodyguards in black. The red suit is so out of place that Lin Luoran doesn't like it. However, the officer starts to struggle again. He looks at the lady as if he is going to swallow her alive. The lady seems to hate these poor soldiers. She turns her head away and says in a condescending tone, Commander Qin. Commander Qin raises his head. His pupils contract and he answers coldly, Mrs. Zhou, it's pointless to say more. Let's follow the procedure. Mrs. Zhou frowns. She takes out a handkerchief to wipe her tearless eyes. Commander Qin, you know better than anyone else about the Ruan family. This bastard is domineering, but he has always liked Baojia. Even though he knows that she is engaged, he will never hurt her. This must be a misunderstanding. Before Commander Qin can say anything, the officer who is being held down starts to curse. Misunderstanding? Miss Zhou is lying in the operating room because of a misunderstanding. Others may be afraid of the Zhou family's power, but Lu Sanchun is not afraid of the Zhou family. Zhou Yaowei failed to force Baojia to marry him and hurt her on purpose. Lin Luoran's eyes are still wet. Hearing this, she suddenly raises her head. Zhou Yaowei did it on purpose. The son of this lady, Zhou Yaowei, wanted to kill Baojia. Seeing that Commander Qin doesn't refute his subordinate's words, Mrs. Zhou becomes anxious. Commander Qin, I came here because of the friendship between our families. Yaowei is such a good boy. How could he hit Baojia on purpose? Please don't be fooled by outsiders. For the sake of Buddha, he is the only son of the Zhou family. If my father-in-law knows about this, I don't know how sad he will be. Then, Mrs. Zhou started to cry. Lin Luoran is sensitive enough to notice that when she says, father-in-law, Commander Qin's anger stops and he seems to be struggling to control himself. Mrs. Zhou's father-in-law is a dead man. Will he be the key person to change Commander Qin's attitude in this accident? No, according to Mrs. Zhou's feeble retort, this is clearly a premeditated murder. Coldness flashes through Lin Luoran's eyes. It seems that Mrs. Zhou is taking advantage of the influence of the Zhou family and the late Mr. Zhou, who has a great influence on Commander Qin. Mrs. Zhou is so arrogant. Instead of apologizing, she brings a large group of people in bright red clothes to make a scene in the hospital. Lin Luoran looks at Lu Zheng, who has been silent since the beginning. His fiancée is lying in the operating room. Facing the mother of his enemy, he chooses to remain silent. Is it because the elders are here that Lu Zheng can't act rashly? Or is it because the Zhou family is so powerful that Lu Zheng has to be afraid? Lin Luoran doesn't know, and she doesn't want to know. She only knows that Baojia is still lying on the operating table and the doctors are saving her. She will not allow anyone to disturb the quiet environment. Never. Mrs. Zhou, if you don't have anything else to say, please leave. As for your son, he will be fine if he didn't do it. If he did, he can't get away with it. Lin Luoran unconsciously says, can't get away with it, with Reiki. Her words echo in the long corridor of the hospital, making people feel that she is inviolable. Mrs. Zhou is frightened by the beautiful woman who suddenly speaks. She is elegant and the capital is a place full of hidden talents. Mrs. Zhou doesn't know who Lin Luoran is, so she doesn't answer her. Instead, she just wails at Commander Qin. Commander Qin watched Yao grow up. Why does he look like such a person? Lin Luoran notices that Commander Qin is also frowning. Hearing Mrs. Zhou's shrill voice, Lin Luoran feels that she is about to burst into anger. Hey! The door of the operating room suddenly opens. A nurse sticks her head out and says angrily, what are you talking about? Don't you know that silence is needed here? Lin Luoran gives the nurse a look and Mrs. Zhou stops talking. The nurse closed the door with a bang, making everyone unable to ask the questions in their mouths. Their hearts seem to be hanging high up in the air. Time passes quietly in the quiet corridor of the hospital like mercury. After a long time, the light in the operating room flashes and a doctor in a white coat walks out. Facing everyone's expectant eyes, the doctor takes off his mask and says to Baojia's grandfather in a slightly apologetic tone, Commander Qin, we have done our best. Your granddaughter has a massive chest hemorrhage, cranial trauma, and many fractures. I'm afraid she can't make it past tonight. Family members, please go in and say goodbye. Commander Qin is about to fall. His subordinates hold him up. Mrs. Zhou covers her mouth with her hands. Her eyes are filled with fear. If Qin Baojia dies, how can she help her son get away with it? Hearing family members, Lin Luoran falls down by the door. Lu Zheng wants to help her, but he remembers the time when he played with Baojia in the Beihai Park when they were little. The proud queen at that time was just a little tail. She didn't call him Master Lu like she did later. Instead, she called him Brother Lu Zheng sweetly. Baojia is his fiancée, but he always treats her as his sister. He even has a crush on another woman. Lu Zheng's hands hang down helplessly. Tears are running down his face behind his gold-rimmed glasses. Lu Sanchun suddenly rushes to Mrs. Zhou and wants to ask for an explanation. However, he is held back by Mrs. Zhou's bodyguards. Hearing the noise, Lin Luoran comes to herself. She looks at the door of the operating room and murmurs. They don't even give Baojia the last piece. Baojia, how can you die? I'm here to save you. I'm here to save you. Get out. Get out of here with your people. If Baojia dies, I'll kill your son and bury him with her. Lin Luoran jumps up and throws a bodyguard against the wall. The bodyguards let go of Lu Sanchun and come to catch Lin Luoran. However, Lin Luoran slaps them away. Mrs. Zhou is scared out of her wits. She screams, "Don't kill me," and rushes out of the corridor. Seeing that their master has run away, the bodyguards also struggle to get up and follow her. Everyone is startled by Lin Luoran's sudden madness. However, instead of staying quiet after driving Mrs. Zhou away, Lin Luoran grabs Commander Qin's sleeve. Seeing Lin Luoran's face is covered with tears, Commander Qin thinks that his granddaughter has been alone since she was a little girl. It is Lin Luoran who makes her feel better. Chapter 61. Lin Luoran wipes her tears with her hand and pulls Commander Qin's sleeve. She says something shocking. There is a glimmer of hope in Lu Sanchun's eyes. Lu Zheng also bounces up from the wall. They all stare at Lin Luoran with hopeful eyes. They are like drowning people who find the last straw and they want to hold on to it. Commander Qin's eyes are cloudy. He thinks that Lin Luoran is talking nonsense because she is sad. He pats her hand and nods. Good girl, Baojia will know what you are thinking. Let's go and see her. The attending doctor stares at Lin Luoran. This woman has no sense of urgency. What does she mean by she can save the patient? In this case, why are they surrounding the operating table for such a long time? Lin Luoran is so anxious that she doesn't know how to prove it. Commander Qin obviously doesn't believe her. What should she do? How can she save Baojia? All Lin Luoran can think about is to save Baojia. She has no time to think about hiding her power. Commander Qin is a privileged class, so he must have heard some information that ordinary people don't know, for example, cultivators. Grandpa Qin, I can save Baojia. Please believe me this time. I am a member of the Taoist school. The Taoist school. Commander Qin's cloudy eyes suddenly wake up. Is Lin Luoran really one of the small group of people who have mastered the mysterious power in the state of Huaxia? Could his Baojia, his only family, be saved? However, she is too young. Even if she is a member of the Taoist school, can she really save Baojia? Commander Qin's mood is like a roller coaster at the moment, but he nods unconsciously. Lin Luoran is overjoyed. She feels that she is filled with endless energy. She has no time to be polite. She pushes away the attending doctor who is blocking the door of the operating room and stumbles into the operating room. The nurses and doctors in the operating room scream. After a while, they come out one after another. It turns out that Lin Luoran has driven them out and slammed the door of the operating room. The doctors surround Commander Qin and talk at once. Commander Qin raises his hand. Everyone, my granddaughter has already been declared incurable. Since that's the case, I'll let her try. Even if she fails, it has nothing to do with you. Thank you for your help today. Commander Qin's words are reasonable. Hearing that they won't be held responsible, the doctors stop making noise. Instead, they gather in the corridor quietly. They have already declared the patient to be incurable. Can the beautiful young woman in the room be saved by herself? Lu Sanchun hesitates. He wants to ask Commander Qin what Taoism is and why he agrees to let Mississippi Lin save Baojia after hearing this word. However, seeing that Commander Qin is in deep thought, Lu Sanchun doesn't dare to disturb him. Commander Qin suddenly turns around and says sternly, no matter what happens today, I don't want anyone to know about it. Several soldiers, including Lu Sanchun, move neatly and give a military salute. Yes. The doctors shrunk their necks and made their promises. Commander Qin looks at Lu Zheng. Lu Zheng smiles bitterly. I promise I won't let anyone else in the Lu family know about this. Commander Qin stops talking and looks at the closed door of the operating room again. His eyes are a little blurred. He is thinking of the years of war half a century ago. Taoism. At that time, he was just a soldier in rags. Commander Qin has no time to care about other people's thoughts, let alone what Lin Luoran thinks of when she says Taoism. Stumbling into the operating room, Lin Luoran turns a deaf ear to the scolding of the doctors and nurses. She sees Baojia on the operating table with her eyes closed. Her head is wrapped in layers of gauze. Her hair is gone and there is blood on the white gauze. It seems that she has finished the craniotomy. Get out, all of you. Lin Luoran has no time to be polite. She drives the doctors and nurses out of the operating room and slams the door. Then she comes back to check on Baojia. The electrocardiogram is getting weaker and weaker. Baojia's pale face is covered with blood. She doesn't look pale and sickly like the heroines in movies at all. Instead, she looks extremely haggard. In Lin Luoran's eyes, the gray fog in the world seems to know that Baojia's life is coming to an end. They are all competing to bully Baojia, who is lying on the operating table. They keep wandering around her and even go in and out of Baojia's body. Lin Luoran puts her right hand on Baojia's body worriedly. When the gray fog meets the dim light of the bead, it runs away from Baojia's body as if it is being chased by ghosts. Baojia's blood-stained face seems to be a little more lively. Can it be that the gray fog can affect people's life and death? Lin Luoran doesn't have time to think about the life and death of her best friend. This idea just flashes in her mind. She talks big in front of Commander Qin. In fact, she is just fighting for a chance for herself and a chance for Baojia. Lin Luoran rushes into the door of the operating room with faith in her heart. Bypassing the initial panic, Lin Luoran regains some calmness at this critical moment. Calm down. She must calm down. She can't panic. Lin Luoran reaches out her trembling right hand and touches Baojia's cold cheek. Baojia is dying. How can Lin Luoran save her? Ginseng? Or spring water? No, none of them is right. Ginseng is a medicine for consolidating vitality. Baojia is suffering from internal injury and hemorrhage. She needs to stop the bleeding. She needs to protect Baojia's brain. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran puts her left hand on Baojia's chest and her right hand on Baojia's cold forehead. Lin Luoran runs her Reiki into Baojia's chest and body slowly. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind sees Baojia as the raw jade stones. Since Lin Luoran can see through her own body, there is no reason that she can't see through Baojia's. Calm down, calm down. The buzzing of the electrocardiogram can no longer affect Lin Luoran. She puts her hand on Baojia's body and enters the state of inner vision again in this bloody operating room. At first, she can only see herself. Lin Luoran tries to transfer her spiritual mind to Baojia's body. At first, she can only see that Baojia's vital energy and blood are very weak. If there is a health bar like in the game in reality, Baojia's HP is undoubtedly low. Lin Luoran mobilizes Reiki and fills her eyes. With the help of Reiki and spiritual mind, Baojia's whole body seems to become transparent. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.